So welcome back to the Jobs Live channel.
We have a wide variety of roles available at McCann Health Medcoms.
So we've got a number of regional offices. We've got both construction and highways are based at Salford Quays.
Yeah, so I work on the highways sector of the business, and I'm an assistant HR business partner. So I look after all our highways contracts that we've got currently in the northwest of the Kia business, basically.
And we're going to speak to Amanda from Stockport Homes.
Get yourself a really good quality professional email address. It really is much more important than you think. Make sure that your person spec at the top absolutely matches the job that you're going for. The role profile that you've been asked to meet should absolutely come through in the person spec at the top, so that an employer very quickly can say, right, okay, you're ideal.
From Wigan through Lee, through Tilsley, Atherton, literally you could be based anywhere across the borough when you come and work for the council.
From Cumbria, which is the most northerly point, is up towards Carlisle, right down to the southern point of Cheshire.
So much interaction on the chats, so many people getting in touch. So thank you for that, and thank you for those employers who are signposting people to various websites and giving them advice about applying for work.
We're currently recruiting for care workers. We actually have 30 current vacancies in this area at the moment. So that would be obviously community carers, but there is opportunity to do other things, mainly going on to be a senior carer, or eventually coming in and working in the offices with me and the rest of our team within the office.
It's so exciting. There's a job for everybody, I do believe. We have people working obviously on site in trade positions, and then obviously back office staff, support staff, HR, recruitment, you name it, there's a job.
We are now looking for another 300 individuals to work as traffic management operatives. So that includes training opportunities and qualified operatives and foremen into the business. That's a shift paid role. But we also have then additional management opportunities for contracts managers and operations managers.
See you again soon here on the Jobs Live channel. Take care. So next up, we're going to meet up with Dan Houseman. Hi, Dan. Can you hear us okay?
I can indeed. Morning, Stuart.
Morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Jobs Live channel. You work as a Learning and Development Manager at Ribby Hall, but just tell us where Ribby Hall is, for those who may not have heard of it before.
So we're based just outside of Ray Green, sort of between Preston and Blackpool. So accessible by rail from Kirkham and Wesham Station, and there's a bus link just outside.
Brilliant. And if you had to sum up what you do as an organisation, what is it that Ribby Hall does in the community?
Certainly. So we're an award-winning family-based or family-owned business. We're multifaceted, but our focus is all about hospitality and leisure. A key thing for us is the short breaks and holiday market. So we have a number of cottages and properties for people to rent for short or week-long stays. We also have a number, about 300 plus privately owned holiday homes that are classed as second homes, and that's undergoing a further development at the moment, adding 20 new properties to the offer. We also have a variety of restaurants, bars, cafes. On Monday, we opened up our new Pancake House, which has been going down very popular with guests and staff. We have a large health club, so gym, pools, classes, activities, big focus on well-being. We have a spa hotel, so a number of treatments and facilities offered there. plus beautiful grounds, parks, woodlands, play areas for children and families, and a big entertainment offering as well. So quite a lot of things under one roof.
No, it sounds amazing venue, and it must be great to be back as well, Dan. And we're going to be asking that question to all the people today. You know, you've had a tough 14, 15 months, haven't you? Absolutely. It's been, I think the word that we've heard quite a lot is unprecedented, but yeah, it's not like anything anyone's ever seen before. But it's been so positive. Since the government roadmap was announced, we put our pathway together to phase reopening of the village. Obviously, we could continue that from Monday, and it's been brilliant seeing all of our colleagues return. It's been brilliant seeing all of our guests return, and there's a real feeling of optimism and positivity around the village, which is really nice. No, absolutely. And would you say you're recruiting more at the moment than normal? Or is this kind of seasonal anyway? There's probably a little bit more recruitment going on than normal for this time of year. We're not as seasonal as we used to be, but we do see those sort of peaks at certain times of the year. But there's quite a drive at the moment as we're able to open more and more facilities. Plus, we're looking to invest and develop some new facilities, so there'll be further recruitment required for those. But yeah, it's exciting times. Indeed, and I'm so pleased for you, as we all are here, that you're back up and running, even if it is only in a limited capacity. But I'm sure if we get into the next stage 4, you'll be full like you used to be back before all this kicked in. Before we get into the roles and hints and tips, can I just ask you, how did it start for you? What was your journey into hospitality, Dan? So my journey, I joined about 12 years ago to manage what was a bistro that has evolved to become the Pancake House. After a couple of years, I then moved across to managing our restaurant. And whilst there was responsible for setting up front of house training, that then became something that other sort of restaurants wanted to partake in. So that became a full-time role, delivering food and beverage training for about 12 months. And then it continued to grow and became a central training and learning and development role. So it's been quite an exciting journey over the past 12 years. And when you're in school, is this something you always wanted to do, or what was your first job? Can you remember that? My first job, I used to work on a Saturday or a Sunday at Clifton Garden Centre. So I was watering plants, I was carrying plants to people's cars, sweeping up. So yes, quite removed from what I do now. But I suppose the key thing for me is I've always enjoyed working with people. So I used to work in bars and restaurants through college, through university, delved into banking for a little while, but then came back out and went into the hospitality industry again. The roles have changed. I'm more support now than operational, but I find people fascinating, and it's really rewarding in the role I do now, being able to help and sort of see people develop and move forwards in their careers. Fantastic. And like you say, you clearly enjoy other people's company and helping them, and that's a key factor even in that job that you were doing, your first job. Transferable skills that have now led you to do what you do now. Yes, definitely. Yeah. Okay, let's get into the roles then, because you said there you have got some vacancies at the moment, which is brilliant. What kind of roles do you have on offer right now at Ribby Hall? So at the moment, and these are all on our careers page on the Ribby Hall website, we have got a number of chef vacancies, and that's something we're really focusing on at the moment. We have an assistant manager for our nursery. We have various team member roles for sort of waiting on bar and customer service positions. We're looking for a number of qualified spa therapists, so for the spa hotel and the beauty side of things. We're looking for evening porter for our spa hotel. We are looking for management roles for Terrazza, one of our restaurants, and also a team leader position in there. Excuse me. We also have vacancies in the grounds maintenance team, and a recent one that's just been added, we're looking for a maternity cover of a senior HR advisor within our HR department. So quite a variety of positions. We're on your page right now as you were talking to us. So we found ribbyhall.co.uk, went to the careers page, and I've clicked on current vacancies, and all of these are live right now. And our previous guests, they were asked about apprenticeships. It's great to see that you're offering a spa therapist at apprentice level. Yes, we're a levy-paying business. We have a number of apprentices in the business at the moment in different roles. We're seeing more and more focus on that, and it has allowed us over the sort of recent months to look at how we can retain staff and redeploy them and
continue to skill them up. So, yeah, big advocate of the levy scheme.
Brilliant. Well, people can click on there. And what is the application process, Dan? So if someone clicks on one of these, what are they expected to fill in, and what happens next?
So there's an online application form that, again, access through the website. They fill in their details there. A key thing, if there's a specific role you are definitely applying for, it's to make us aware of what role you are looking to apply for. There's an option to click if you want to be considered for other roles as well. So if you see, let's say, a role in Taratza, and that's the one you're looking for, but you'd be happy to consider for other positions in food and beverage across the village, then there's an option to do that. That then goes through to our HR team, who then will make contact with you and take the sort of next steps, whether that's invite you in for an interview, sometimes a second interview with the department manager or the HR team, and then often a skills test depending on the role.
Okay, so there's quite a few layers to get through, but that's because you want to find clearly the right people. For people who are applying then, Dan, can you just give us some hints and tips? Because clearly you want people to succeed. So what can they do to make sure they get an interview in the first place?
We're hugely focused on people. So we want to see you coming through. We've got a great framework in-house to develop the relevant skill and talent. So the key thing for us is that we get people who are genuinely wanting to succeed and have a very positive attitude. So it's having the correct details on the application form, make sure that your CV is tailored to the role you're applying for, so you really stand out to us as someone that we should be getting in touch with.
Brilliant. Well, we've had a few questions in actually on the chat, so if I may, Sue's asked, do you have any specialists working at your spa, or is it just general staff?
In terms of the spa, it's beauty therapist roles that we're looking for at the moment. We have a number of other positions, roles that exist in there. So from time to time, we will be recruiting for anything from duty management to spa host, reception roles. There is also a wellness suite that's more based in sort of consultants who will be based in there from time to time. So we've had different sort of physiotherapists and that sort of role based in there as well.
Thanks. Great question, Sue. Maria would also like to know, is there any progression within the company? And I know what you're going to say, so let's talk about progression, because it is important for people to know when they come in that there is a career ahead of them in your organisation, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We know we're at a company that some people, it's a part-time role while they're at college or studying, and they've got other sort of career plans. But for others, it is something they want to make a career path, a journey. So we do have pathways mapped out throughout the company. We work, whether it's with our internal framework, sometimes partnering with external companies to make sure there's everything from supervisory through to leadership. There's a great focus on development, and there's a huge number of people that have joined the company at a sort of team member level and then have moved through to management and leadership positions. And we're really proud of the fact that we can sort of grow talent throughout the business, talking about succession planning and building for the future. A great story, I guess, is our operations director, Mark. He joined whilst at uni as a lifeguard. He did some part-time work in the bar, part-time in reception, started to move through the layers of management within the health club, and 3 years ago was promoted to an operations director. So we've a number of individuals who've taken similar paths.
Fantastic. Well, I hope that answers your question, Maria. Thank you so much. And then Harry wants to know about the HR position. It says, what qualifications do you need for that, Dan?
It only went out yesterday, so I must admit I haven't actually seen the vacancy. I believe we'll be looking at a CIPD level 5 or above. But the vacancy, the job advert will be on the website to give the details there. As it's a temporary position, for that we would need a level of experience because we'll kind of need someone to come in and, other than get familiar with the company, be able to sort of hit the ground running. So there'll be some specifics on that as opposed to other roles.
Yeah, absolutely. And clearly they're on your website right now looking at the very latest roles. That's great to see. And
it's great to see.
Hopefully you get a few applications on the back of this. And also, Harry, just very quickly wants to know, do you offer training courses as well for employees?
We do indeed. Some of that is again offered internally, so that's a big part of my role. We do a lot around sort of health and safety, role specific. we will bring in external partners who will help with different development opportunities. Because of the variety of the roles we have, we do partner with some of our product houses and support teams as well. So yeah, there's a huge array of different development opportunities tailored to either the role or the level in the business that you're looking to attain.
Yeah, brilliant. Just finally, and Dan, this has been really helpful, by the way. Thanks so much for your time. What is it about this sector, do you feel, that people enjoy working in? For you, you've been in this sector a while. What is it about the sector that keeps you getting up in the mornings and wanting to go to work?
Yeah, for me, there's a definite purpose to it, because fundamentally, all we're doing at Ribby Hall Village is trying to make sure that our customers have a fantastic experience, that they leave with great memories, and I think that's become even more of a focus for us now. What we've all been going through over the past 12 months, it's hugely rewarding. Obviously, it has its challenges, but I think we're all built on helping people develop their resilience and improving themselves.
Yeah.
And it's ever changing. It's a fast-paced industry. Every day is something different, and again, we're all based on having great teams and employees working together. So there's a real feeling of positive energy that runs through the place, which is great.
No, fantastic. Well, look, thanks again for your time this morning. That's Dan from Ribby Hall, Learning Development Manager, telling us about the vacancies that are there right now on the Ribby Hall website. And we'll put the link up to that page so you can go and have a look and hopefully apply. And if you've got any questions for Dan, feel free to leave them in the live chat, and we'll continue to talk to Dan and get them to his team so you can get the information you need. I'm so pleased for you, Dan, that things are turning back to some form of normality. Enjoy the rest of your week, and hopefully we'll see you back here again on the Jobs Live channel. Take care.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Been joined by Sean Fagan. Hi, Sean.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks so much for joining us at the Jobs Live channel this morning to focus on hospitality. And boy, has it been a strange 12 months, or probably longer than that, actually. It must feel great to be back at the hotel.
It is great to be back. Obviously, we only opened on Monday due to we didn't have any outside seating. It wasn't really worth us opening. So Monday, very busy day for us, but going forwards, it's looking really good. So it's fingers crossed that nothing happens again.
Indeed. For those who don't know geographically where Ray Green is, just tell us exactly where you are in Lancashire.
So we run about 4 miles just outside of Lytham, and just on the outskirts of Kirkham and Wesham. It's a small little village that's just smack bang in the middle near Blackpool.
Fantastic. And you're the conferencing banqueting manager. Just give us a typical day for yourself. What would you be getting involved with?
So at the moment, due to obviously the restrictions that we've got for COVID, I'm helping out in the restaurant, and I'm helping run the restaurant. But we do have several weddings next week. I've got 6 weddings that I need to do. So it's just preparing all the rooms, making sure all the bars are cleaned because they've not been used in about 8 months now, some of them 13, 14 since the first lockdown. And just making sure that everything is in place. We've got all the social distancing where appropriate, and all the staff are up to date and make sure that they know all the different types of PPE that they'll need to wear.
Yes, indeed, because even though we're kind of back to some form of normality, there's still plenty of restrictions, and social distancing is still key. And I'm sure you've gone to great lengths to keep not just your customers, but your staff safe as well.
Yes. So all the tables, we've still got them spaced a metre apart. All the staff wear face masks. We also wear gloves. We sanitise all the tables, inside, outside, all the menus. We wear linen gloves to take food out. And we sanitize our hands a good 15-20 minutes in between everything.
How long have you worked there yourself, Sean? Were you there pre-pandemic?
I was there pre-pandemic, so I've been there now for just over 2.5 years.
And so you can remember how many people you used to see on a regular basis, and on a typical day, how many customers could you serve?
So in the restaurant, on a typical day, you're looking probably around about 80, 90 people, excluding Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're looking well up to 140, 150.
Wow, so that's quite a number of people. And I guess your staff, and we're going to come on to the roles that you're looking for, the staff can be doing a whole range of different activities for you. Is there any particular roles that you're looking for right now to fill?
Yep. So at the moment at Ray Green, we are looking for a full-time housekeeper. We are looking for a full-time receptionist. We're looking for casual front of house for a restaurant and casual conference and banqueting staff. I'm also going to be putting an advert out in the next few days for either an assistant conference and banqueting manager or a conference and banqueting supervisor. I've just not decided which one I'm going to go for yet.
So you're very much involved in the recruitment process. It sounds like you hire people and it's getting back to being busy again. You need more people to join you. What type of people are you looking for, would you say? Ones that are going to be successful, not just working for you, but working in hospitality generally?
So obviously they need to be enthusiastic, friendly and approachable. They need to be able to have good customer service skills and enjoy working with the public, because obviously that is the main part of what we do. We are a customer facing job. They'll have to work well within the team. So whether it's the restaurant or conference and banqueting, everybody helps each other out. Everybody chips in and does different things. So even if you would be hired for a conference and banqueting, you might be expected to go down and help restaurant if they are busy, and we can change and vice versa. So they'll have to be able to adapt to different situations, but work well within a team.
Yeah, absolutely. So teamwork, communication is absolutely crucial, as it is in a lot of roles, but probably even more so in a team like yours when you're dealing with customers. Because boy, they let you know when things don't quite go right, that you've got to always be serving them.
Yeah.
So just a bit of a question we've had on the chat. Megan wants to know, as a hotel, do you work with nearby tourist attractions, activities to advertise them to your customers? So do you work with the rest of the industry to help understand what's out there in Lancashire?
So we do have a station which has all the local attractions and different events on that we have. We get very busy when it's like Lytham Proms, the Kite Festival and the Firework Festival, because we are so close to Lytham. We do a lot of outside catering as well. So the steam rally that they hold down in Lytham, we do the outside catering for that. We do Lowther Pavilion New Year's Eve. We do all the catering for that as well. And St George's Day down on Lytham Green, it's a big 4-day festival. We're down there, we do all the work for that, all the food. So we are quite involved, but we don't do a promotion as such. So say if you stayed at the hotel, you'd get a discount for Blackpool Pleasure Beach or anything like that. But we are involved within the surrounding us.
Yeah, I mean, thanks for the question, Megan. It's really interesting. I mean, obviously in your role there, it's not just about dealing with customers. You are dealing with other suppliers and stakeholders as well. So having a bit of business engagement understanding would be useful in your industry. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Sean. Before we get into any hints and tips you can get to people applying, can I just ask you where it all started for you? I mean, how did you get into hospitality? Were you in school, college? Can you remember?
So I was in college. It was, I think, 2 days after I turned 18. I got a job in a pub in Wigan because my brother knew a girl that worked there. And from there, I became the duty manager of the pub. And then I just ended up moving from pub to pub, became an assistant manager in 2 different pubs. I then had a break for a year, tried to get out of hospitality, but I ended up going straight back into hospitality. And then I worked my way back up from being just a bartender to a supervisor to assistant manager, and then to food and beverage manager and assistant manager of a hotel. And now the job that I'm in now.
Yeah, they're not letting you go that easy, Sean. Obviously, for you, the passion must be there. I mean, what do you enjoy most about being in this sector?
Every day is different. I know it probably sounds a bit of a cliche, but with the number of functions and weddings and everything that you do, you don't tend to see the same thing twice. And you never know really what's going to happen. So it's fun in that aspect, but it's, for me, I just enjoy it. There's just something about it that I've tried to get out of it, but I've come back to it twice now. So
yeah,
there's obviously something that's making me stay within the hospitality industry.
Yeah, absolutely. So just going back then to people applying for your roles now moving forward, Sean, you clearly see a lot of applications coming through. Probably get frustrated sometimes when people miss things off or don't quite get it right on the application. Let's try and help them today. What advice would you give anyone applying for your vacancies to make sure they get an interview at least?
So for me personally, you need to be clear and concise. Try not to use the same things over and over again. So don't repeat yourself. So if you've had 2 jobs in 2 different hotels or 2 different pubs, don't say the same thing. Try and either reword it or think of something else that you've done in that job that you didn't do in your previous job. Keep your CV, your application, to 2 pages of A4 paper and a cover letter if you want to do a cover letter. If you don't have a lot of experience, then it's a good idea to do a cover letter. You can put your strengths, your weaknesses on. You can explain who you are as a person more, because sometimes it's not all about the experiences that you've got. It is about who the person is. And that, for me, I would rather go for someone who doesn't have the experience, train them up in everything that I need to train them up in, if they're the type of person that I want to work for me, rather than someone that's got all the experience but won't be the correct fit.
Got it. Brilliant. That's great advice. Thank you for sharing that, Sean, here on the Jobs Live channel. And Alan's been in touch as well. And can you take this one for me? It says, are the restaurant staff and housekeeping staff separate roles?
Yes. So the housekeepers look after the 32 bedrooms, and the restaurant look after the 2-deck restaurant that we have. They also do the smaller functions, little birthday parties that we have down there. And then obviously reception, completely different, and conference and banqueting is a different department as well. So although we might work together and the higher up management are close knit to make sure everything runs smoothly, we are completely separate departments.
Brilliant. We're going to let you get back to it, because I know you've had a busy week getting ready for people coming back, and obviously last Monday must have been fantastic for you to see people coming back into Villa at Ray Green. And I want to keep my fingers crossed for you, and hopefully we don't have to go back into another lockdown, and you can move forward now slowly but surely, welcoming back to full capacity as well, which I'm sure you want to see. Just finally, before I let you go, what's the, for you and people watching this, what's the best thing for working? What's the best thing about working at the Villa?
So for me, it's since the current owners took over in 2014, the company has gone strength to strength. So we got the rosettes for the restaurant. We built up the reputation for function and events. So now we do over 120 weddings in a year. That's not including any birthday parties or anything else. So we've managed to build up a reputation that is quite well known. We do a lot of in-house training, and a lot of our promotion is within house. So there's the progression straight there. So we'd rather promote someone inside than getting people outside where possible. So there's always the room for growth. We work well together, especially the higher up management. We look all of the casual staff as well. We do reviews to make sure that they're happy, see what they need to improve on. If they have any ideas, we take everything on board that they say, and obviously we can implement different things. So it's, for me, if you find a company that you like and the management team are good, that is the best thing that you can do, is be with that company, mainly because of the management team and the staff that there are there, rather than constantly moving to try and go somewhere else.
Got it. Yeah.
That makes sense.
No, that does make sense. And again, thanks for sharing that with us. And I know when we meet the rest of the companies today, everybody will have a different take on what they need and the skills and why work for them. But ultimately, it is a great sector to work for, isn't it, as a whole?
Yeah, it's a great sector. So until the pandemic, I would have said it was probably the best sector to work for, because everyone's always going to go out for drinks. Everyone's always want to go out for a nice restaurant. You're always going to have weddings, your birthday parties and everything else. Obviously, the COVID-19 shook the entire industry straight away. I know so many different venues, restaurants, pubs and clubs that unfortunately have closed the doors and probably will never open again. But for everyone that survived, everyone has been fighting tooth and nail to get customers back in through the doors, to make sure that everything is in place, and hopefully this time next year everything will just be back to how it was 2 years ago before all of this started.
Well, I'll definitely raise a drink to that with you, Sean. That's very positive news. So that's Sean Fagan from the Villa at Ray Green. Sean's the conferencing banqueting manager. Thanks so much, Sean, for joining us on Jobs Live. And let's stay in touch. Let's see. I'm sure as more vacancies come through, feel free to share them. And if someone does want to get in touch, by the way, how can they do that? What's the best way of getting in touch with you about these vacancies?
So all the vacancies are on Indeed. You can also email either myself, which is sean.fagan@thevillagreen.co.uk, or you can email the reception team, and the reception team will send it through to the management of whichever department it is that you're looking to get an interview for.
Yeah. And just one question that's come in before I let you go. Just very quickly, do you offer apprenticeships?
So I've done apprenticeships in the past. I personally like apprenticeships, especially if it is someone that wants to work within the hospitality industry, because then it's someone that you can train and show the ropes, and hopefully after the apprenticeship is finished, then hopefully they'll stay with you. Obviously, if they want to go elsewhere, that's absolutely fine. But yeah, we do apprenticeships.
Okay, that was Daniel 06 asking that question. So Daniel, if you do want to get in touch, either email Sean or go to their website, and I'm sure Sean will give you more details about what that looks like. Thanks again, Sean. Enjoy the rest of your week. Hopefully you continue to remain busy, and we'll see you back here on Jobs Live. Thanks, Sean.
Thank you. Bye.
So 3, 2, 1. Thanks, Stuart. So today I have been joined by Eve Hills. Now Eve works at HBN Restaurant. So hi Eve, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you.
Good to hear. So could you tell everyone a little bit about yourself and what HBN Restaurants do?
Okay, so as you said, my name's Eve. And I'm the people consultant for HBN Restaurants Limited. HBN Restaurants are a franchise of McDonald's, and I guess that everyone's heard of McDonald's. Our franchisee owns 12 restaurants altogether. They're a mixture of drive-through and high street locations. Last year, even with the lockdown and the restaurants closed between March and June, our group of restaurants still served nearly 5 million customers. McDonald's and our own business as a franchise of McDonald's aim to make delicious feel-good moments, and they're going to be easy for everyone. that doesn't just mean our customers, but it means our employees as well. So we're open 7 days a week. All restaurants trade a minimum of 16 hours per day, and a number of our sites operate 24 hours. We also get involved in community projects and raise money for the Ronald McDonald House charity.
Brilliant, that sounds great. So a lot of good stuff all in one place. So whereabouts are you guys based? Obviously McDonald's is everywhere, but whereabouts are you guys specifically based?
Yeah, so HBN Restaurants was established in 2001 by Chris and Sue Nichols. They were both working for McDonald's prior to embarking on their franchise journey, and July this year actually marks our 20-year anniversary. So HBN Restaurants have grown to operate 12 sites, starting up at Carlisle, where there are 2 restaurants, zigzagging across Cumbria, Workington, Whitehaven, Penrith, Kendal, 2 stores in Barrow. We've got 3 restaurants in Morecambe and Lancaster, and in 2019, the restaurant on the Isle of Man joined our group as well. We've got 2 operations consultants. They oversee 6 restaurants each. Each restaurant's run by a business manager, with up to 3 assistant managers and a team of shift leaders. The number of crew members in a store ranges from 60 up to 160.
Wow, that's incredible. Just that sheer amount of number is just amazing to hear. So obviously, let's take a little step back from what you're doing now at the moment. But just can you share with us what your first job role was and how you've kind of gone from there to where you are now?
Okay, so I started as a crew member in McDonald's City Centre in June 1997. And this was mainly with the purpose of reducing my overdraft. I'd finished my first year at university, but then I started at McDonald's and I absolutely loved it. I worked there through university and I would work in Liverpool as well. I used to transfer between. After university, I did my floor managers and then my shift managers courses with McDonald's. And then when Chris came and bought the restaurant in 2001, I was promoted to a salaried manager. So I was an assistant manager then. Then I was a business manager, and I was a business manager in Carlisle, Whitehaven. Then I took some time out. We had our first child. Then I went back to Carlisle, still doing the role of business manager. Time out again for a second child. Back to being a business manager, and then 3 years ago, because the group had grown so much, the opportunity to take this role as the people consultant came up, which was brilliant because it meant that I could grow on the things that I'd really enjoyed doing as a business manager.
That's incredible. So that just goes to show then that you started off working on the floor and actually in that first step, and you've grown with the company and started off obviously in making your own name in it. So it just shows the progression in just one company. So that's incredible. Yeah. So obviously you've gained that experience throughout so that you know what people expect on a daily basis and understand as an employee. So that's amazing. But speaking of the employees within the company, what kind of roles are you guys starting to recruit for at the moment?
So primarily we're recruiting for crew members and customer care assistants. However, there are also roles available for assistant managers. You can find out more about the assistant manager position in the early careers section on the website. So if we talk about crew members, I guess if you've been in one of our restaurants before, you've probably got some idea of what's involved in working there, but you might not realise the full variety of what we do. Because we want every single customer to have a brilliant experience every single time they visit, that means we must always have hot food, clean and friendly restaurant, and as a crew member you need to make that happen, whether you're preparing food, serving on the till, being out in the dining area, looking after the customers' needs. I also mentioned that we're recruiting for customer care assistants. I guess they could be seen as the face of the restaurant. So in a nutshell, they're dealing with customers, making sure everything runs as it should in the customer areas. This includes making the customers feel welcome, handing out colouring sheets, looking after customers' specific needs, keeping the high standards of cleanliness, and just helping to create a really warm and welcoming atmosphere. They need to keep positive communication with the customers on every visit, and feedback to the manager about any customer issues.
Brilliant. So there's some really good meaty roles there that you've just mentioned. So what kind of people are you looking for to not only just join in those roles, but also your organisation in general?
Well, we just need people who are ready to work in a fast-moving and really high-energy environment. You've got to have a genuine smile, and you need to be able to connect with customers and other people that you're working with. So successful applicants need to be confident in approaching and dealing with diverse groups of people. They'll be friendly, they'll be courteous, and helpful behaviour will just come naturally to them. As I said as well, working as part of a team. Communication skills, attentive listening, talking to people face to face, eye contact are really important. People who apply also need to understand that it's really important that we maintain high standards of quality and service, as well as cleanliness in the restaurants. So people just need to be able to keep a high energy level whilst they're working. And of course, we're looking for a smart and clean appearance as well, because obviously we're a food business.
Absolutely. So obviously taking on all of that, plus also what you mentioned when that you said about your first job role and your progression to where you are now, why would someone want to come and work for you guys and in one of the McDonald's restaurants?
So every single person that works for us has got their own different story, and that's one of the things that makes me proudest to work for HBN. As I said, my own journey actually started as that summer job in 1997. I mentioned that we have the 2 operations consultants and 12 business managers. Both consultants and 11 out of the 12 business managers actually started out as crew members, same as me. There's really no limit as to how far you can go with the company. We offer apprenticeships in hospitality. These are managed by Lifetime Training, and they're undertaken as part of your usual week. You don't need to go to college, you don't need to do any homework. There's a short video about the apprenticeships, which is going to show at the end of the interview. We also have access to an employee website. There's absolutely loads on there. Competitions, extra training videos, but also wellbeing tips, and also access to the employee discount site. The pay rates are £7.50 per hour for those who are under 21 and £9 per hour for 21 and above. This is enhanced by an additional £1.50 an hour between midnight and 6 a.m. There's a meal allowance whilst you're working, and as I mentioned, the employee discount scheme, which goes far beyond just discounted food. We've got a range of full and part-time roles available. One of the best things about McDonald's is that shifts are available around the clock to fit around college, family, other commitments, school holidays. We have a lot of people who will do extra shifts during the school holidays because obviously the restaurant's busier at that time and they're not in their lessons. It sounds like a cliche, but it's true that you're going to make friends for life in McDonald's. And working for our franchise of McDonald's. You'll also develop loads of soft skills, so dealing with people, teamwork, prioritising, flexibility, time management, and trying to balance all your responsibilities. I mentioned at the start that we take part in community projects and fundraising. This includes volunteering with the FA, hosting grassroots football tournaments, and local clean-up projects. If you're in sixth form and you're looking to apply to higher education, previous employees have found that the soft skills they've developed in McDonald's, paired with the volunteering that they've had an opportunity to take part in, really strengthens the UCAS application.
Wow, that's a lot of benefits right there, and it's incredible to see the different variety of things that you can get your hands into, especially with those soft skills, as you mentioned just then. And finally, have you guys got any hints or tips for those that might want to apply for one of your restaurants?
Well, my hints and tips are quite simple, really. I just would recommend that you be confident, be honest, be yourself, and good luck.
Amazing. There's some brilliant hints and tips there. Thank you so much, Eve, for your time and for just giving those pieces of advice and telling us about the vacancies that you have. If anybody's got any questions for Eve or for the team at HBN Restaurants, then please drop them in the live chat, and I'm sure Eve or somebody will come and help answer those questions for you. But unfortunately, that's all from me to you, Eve. But hopefully we'll see you again very soon on the Jobs Live channel, but for now it's back over to Stu in the studio.
Thank you.
Delighted now to be joined by Amy Meehan. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Stuart. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thanks so much for joining us again on the Jobs Live channel. It's always nice to have you on. So you work for Connected Talent, and you're a talent and sourcing manager. We're going to bring up your website shortly, which has got lots of great opportunities for people to apply into right now. But just briefly tell us what you're all about as an organisation.
Yep, so we are Connected Talent, but we recruit for Connected Health, which is a healthcare company. We cover areas, we cover GB, we cover Northern Ireland, we cover the Republic of Ireland. On a whole, we're actually currently the 7th fastest growing business in the UK. You know, it's massively, the growth we have at the minute is amazing. So what we do is provide care for people who live in their own homes, who want to live independently, but just need that extra bit of help. So it'd be like a healthcare community company. So we do recruit for healthcare assistants, but progress within the business. You know, you can start as a healthcare assistant and work your way up right up to like management, you know, in a short space of time. So we have that progression for candidates and, you know, being able to give back to the community as well.
Brilliant. And whereabouts are you based? Because obviously, you know, sometimes you recruit for care in very local areas, but are you quite widespread? You could sort of get people into care from all over the country?
Absolutely. So at the minute we cover right from like Southport to Sefton. We do Liverpool, St Helens, down to Cheshire, Cheshire East, Cheshire West, and we're currently expanding at the minute as well. So it's forever growing.
Brilliant. Okay.
So among all those different bases, yeah.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to cut straight to the chase here. We're going to have a look at your website, and got a really nice video on there as well, a day in the life of a care assistant, which is probably worth looking at as well if you want to know more about these roles, because sometimes the title doesn't give away really truly what these jobs do. So I'm looking on there now. So this is your connectedhealth.co.uk Work With Us website, which we will share the link for, by the way, and underneath that you've got a huge amount of opportunity, isn't there, Amy?
Absolutely, yeah. There really is. There's something for everybody as well. You know, and it's a very rewarding role. You know, it's something that I think people have found, like even during the pandemic, being able to give back to the community, it's even highlighted it even more. And we even grew throughout that. So it's an amazing opportunity for anybody. And people are coming from all backgrounds. You know, it's not people who've always had an interest in care. It's people coming from maybe hospitality, retail, you know, different sectors where they've really thrived in the care industry.
Because every website's different as well. Every care company we're speaking to has a different progression into the application, for example, and the way you want to receive information. I've noticed as I've been scrolling down, there is like an apply button. If I click on that, what normally happens next?
So that will just bring you to, it's a very short application form. You enter your name, where you're from, whether you're a driver or not. Sometimes that can be essential depending on the area that you're applying for. You upload your CV and that brings you straight to basically me. And then I'm able to look through the application and get in contact.
Fantastic. And I'm just going to quickly look because we obviously want to mention to people that we are live on the chat now. And we've had a question in from Mel, actually. Does Connected Talent work with any government schemes? Can you take that one?
Yes, we can indeed. We're actually in the middle of registering for the Kickstart scheme with, certain colleges and things like that in Liverpool. So we're working through that. We're working with, apprenticeships as well, getting that up and going. So you can come on board as an apprentice. And then there's always that option of coming on as an employee, once your apprenticeship is finished. We also do have Connected Academy, which is within Connected Health. So it's our own training platform. And we've only just been approved, like OCN approved. So you're able to do like your level 2 and level 3 with us. So if that's something you were interested in, you can come on board and we can help you put you through the training for everything as well.
Perfect. So just to remind people, if you do want to get in touch with Amy and any of these companies we're featuring today, it's a bit like Twitter. You just put on their @ and then the first couple of letters should find Connected Talent and Connected Health. So there's 2 chances to get hold of Amy and the team. You simply just click on any of those and it'll then populate the box there, and then you just type away. So Mel, great question. Hopefully that given you the answer you were looking for. And this is what this is all about, really. The Jobs Live channel is taking questions live from people through the channel website. And thank you for answering that one, Amy.
You're welcome.
So obviously lots of opportunities across the country. We were just showing there Northern Ireland, but there is opportunities as well in the Northwest region as well at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah, there is indeed, absolutely. So we're currently the main provider for like Cheshire East, Cheshire West, basically everywhere. We do try to, because the role is community based, if you're willing to even travel a wee bit, just maybe a couple of miles, we can definitely accommodate you the very best we can. So it is, and we pay mileage as well, so your mileage will be covered and everything like that.
Okay, well if you've got any questions about any of the roles that are on offer, please do go to the Connected Health website and then drop back into Jobs Live and get your questions directly to the team, and Amy and the team I'm sure will do their best to answer them. And we're going to ask you to go on the live chat later, Amy, if that's okay, and maybe share some of the links on that page too. So you're back on the screen now, so I just wanted to before we let you go, I know well, 2 things really, and it's one of my favourite questions, is your first job. So how did you get into this? I mean, many people start in professions that aren't linked to what they're doing now. Can you remember what your first job when you were in school or college?
Plenty. I actually worked in a meat counter. I worked in a restaurant as a waitress. I actually then went down the line of health or beauty sciences. So I did my level 2, 3 and 5 in health and beauty. So I did that for about 8 years. And then I decided, I was like, no, I'll go back to university, got a business degree, and I got this role out of it. I actually started in commercial recruitment and came then over to healthcare recruitment, where I've had the opportunities myself even to get promoted throughout the company within a short space of time. So yeah, it's flew and I love it. It's brilliant.
So I'll take you back to your very first job then. You said it was like a meat counter. I mean, you've all got to start somewhere, but even looking back now, was there some transferable skills that you've taken from that role that you're still using today?
Absolutely. Customer service, absolutely. I think it's something that you can bring through any role. And I remember being so nervous in my first job. I didn't know how to speak to customers. I didn't even know how to serve anybody, and really it's something I have been able to bring up, and especially things like time management. I was only maybe 16 when I started, so having to be in for, 6:30 in the morning, getting up and at it on a Saturday morning, it's not always ideal when you're 16. But absolutely, it's really played into a big part in my career now, absolutely.
Yeah, so what advice would you give to anyone, young people looking to get back into work? Any form of work experience is good experience.
Absolutely. With Connected Health, we don't require any specific healthcare experience. You don't even have to have personal experience, but we do appreciate, those skills that you learn throughout your life, you know, being able to speak to people, you know, that kindness you have towards clients, you know, like customer service is a massive part of it. So that's the more the transferable skills we look for, you know, like the softer skills as opposed to actually hard-on experience. So definitely, if you can get any type of work experience, even if it's a couple of weeks, you know, unpaid. I did a voluntary placement where I had to work for a couple of months and didn't get paid, but you know, it's brought me into the next level then where I could go and have the experience for my next job.
Brilliant. Well, that's great advice, Amy. And I know you wouldn't mind telling us about your first job, because we're always fascinated by that question, because I think some people turn their nose up at working, like you say, in a shop, or you know, even working in something unrelated to what they want to be ultimately. But you've proven again today that that very first job when you were 16, you're still gaining, you know, knowledge. But that was that foundation that you built up about dealing with customers in a very varied environment.
Absolutely, and I think it gives you the structure as well, you know, having that working routine, even if it's only in the weekends or one evening a week, it gives you that even appreciation, like earning your own money, you know, it gives you that appreciation for like savings and even things like that when you're growing up, you know, it's things I've brought into play too. Like we've recently just bought our own house, and it's only because we were able to save so structurally, you know, throughout, you know, since I was 16, there was always a wee bit of money went to one side. So definitely it's even played massive parts of my personal life in that kind of respect as well.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on the new house. And I know last time we had you on, you had a pet as well. Is the pet in a safe place today?
Yeah, in the crate. Locked up. No, I'm joking.
Brilliant.
Yeah, he's happy too.
Fantastic. Just before we let you go, obviously it's all great showing people these vacancies and the opportunities that exist, but we also want to support people to make sure their application is as good as it can be when they do apply to you. So any sort of tips today that you can give people about what to put on there as a recruiter that makes them stand out?
As I said, it's not so much about like your past experiences. You don't necessarily even have to have worked before. It's more like you want to bring across like your personality as such in a CV, and you know that you're caring, kind, willing. Time management always comes into it big, because as this is community role, you have set time to be in each client's house for. So things like that, seeing your interests, you know, maybe what you would have taken part in school if you played sports, things like that, and just having a clear structured CV, so we're not having to like root through it, you know, to find anything out about you. So having that structure in your CV as well is a really big bonus.
Yeah, and when they get to interview stage, hopefully they do, based on that information you just provided. Again, at interview, what is it you want to hear them say that really reflects the kind of people you're looking for?
It's having that ability to want to help people. You know, the way we always look at it is if that could be my grandparent, that could be my elderly parent, that could be anybody. We want somebody who we would be comfortable with caring for that person. Because as I'm sure everybody has elderly people in their life who they'd want to make sure it's in the best possible care. So as long as that person is showing that they're willing to be there for them and provide the best possible care, you know, that's what we want to see. Show that you're comforting, show that you're kind, compassionate, and that you're willing to be patient with clients and, you know, give them the best possible care that they need.
Brilliant. Great advice. And Amy, thank you so much for joining us for Care Live this morning here on the Jobs Live channel. Always great to have you on, and some of the insights you give as a recruiter is priceless, I can assure you. And Connected Health, Amy, before we let you go, actually, Amy, I don't think it's you, but it's someone very similar name, Amy M, is asking, is there any volunteer work available at Connected Health? There's no live elements with that.
Volunteer work, I'm sure we could get something sorted with that. Say if they come on board, they can even, if they want to talk to me personally, we can discuss that. We would, it is age dependent as well. You would have to be 17 plus just for that. But it would be more on a structured basis. We would have to go through all the training and stuff and things like that. But we could get you out shadowing and see how you find it from there.
Perfect. Well, if you do get a chance, Amy, to go on to the live chat, I know you've got your login. If you could log on there and maybe go back to some of the people who've been asking questions about joining you and just the health sector in general, that'll be invaluable, because I know people do like a follow-up, and the links that you could provide just might make the difference today as well and get people into work. So look, Amy, I won't keep you any longer. Thanks so much for your time, and thanks for joining us here on the Jobs Live channel. Take care and have a great day.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Eventbrite campaigns, career leaders.
So Abby didn't want to.
Speaking of which, we've been joined now by Chris Lawrence, who works for the North West Ambulance Service. Hi, Chris.
Hi, okay?
Very well, thank you. Thanks so much for joining us again on the Jobs Live channel. We met with you a few weeks ago during the North West Works for You event, and you were kind enough to provide us with insights into what the North West Ambulance Service does. So thanks for that, but it's great to have you back for this special programme looking at care and the great opportunities that exist within your service. And I think we've got a lot of respect for the service, and especially paramedics within what you do on a day-to-day basis, especially what's been going on over the last year, Chris. But for those who don't know, that there is an organisation behind the ambulance itself, who turns up at their street or at their facilities. Just define to us, what is the North West Ambulance Service, please?
It's not really what everybody thinks. I mean, obviously you see us with blue lights on, coming to help people in need, but it's far bigger than that these days. So we actually look at what goes right for the patient, and what goes right at the right time. So we might not necessarily take people to hospital these days. A lot of things might involve us going through your GP, or the walk-in centres, or social services, or falls teams. There's a huge variety to what we do these days. It's not just all about emergency care.
That's right, because not every blue light is an emergency, I guess, is it? Sometimes you turn up and it can be dealt with on the spot, or maybe a family member takes over that care after you've just checked that everyone's okay. So it's a whole level, isn't it, of care that you're talking about here?
Yeah, it's massive, and just to sort of show an example of that, from when the call comes through to our call handlers in our communication centres, they'll then be triaged via clinician before an ambulance is dispatched, and obviously we can then refer back. So we do have nursing staff. We have quite a number of different staff groups working within our clinical contact centres. So it's not just all about the vehicle, the ambulance on the front line. We've got a huge team of professionals behind us as well.
So I guess the clue's in the title, North West Ambulance Service, but the roles that you recruit for, Chris, whereabouts are you taking people on? Whereabouts in the North West region do they come from?
Well, currently, for one of the first times in history with regards to our paramedic intake, we have very limited resources or vacancies at the minute, and that's generally across Greater Manchester. We do take apprentice ambulance technicians on, and again, they will be Northwest wide. But we have a number of other vacancies throughout the trust, and these can be kind of based throughout, as far up as Cumbria and as far down as South Cheshire, and anywhere in between. So we have a number of vacancies throughout the trust.
Fantastic. So I'm just going to, if I may, bring up your website. So this is the North West Ambulance Service, or nwas.nhs.uk, and then you go to careers and then to vacancies, and then there seems to be three sectors. You've got your emergency services, you've got the health science services, and then the administrative services. So I guess that's your point you were making before. It's not just about emergency services anymore, is it?
No, there's a massive range of vacancies. We have obviously behind the scenes, for example, vehicle mechanics. So we take on mechanics, apprentice mechanics. We have pharmacy technicians. We have nursing staff. We do have obviously paramedics. Normally our paramedics recruit from the universities, because you need obviously a degree now to be a paramedic, but we do take on via the apprentice route as well. The apprentice route is internal, so you'll see advertised on our website for apprentice ambulance technicians as opposed to paramedics. Paramedics is very much a closed recruitment for those that have qualified or they're already within the service.
But just for an apprenticeship alone, to have that opportunity for someone to join you and be trained at the same time, that's fantastic, isn't it? I know it's the title's slightly different to the paramedic, but it's essentially the foundation of becoming a full-time paramedic in the future, isn't it?
Absolutely. So it's relatively new and sort of fresh on the ground. So you start as an apprentice ambulance technician, where you'll complete about 18 months worth of training there to become competent and qualified as a technician. And then you'll do another 2 years where you consolidate all that learning, so you'll be out working on an ambulance. And then you can apply to become an apprentice again, but for a paramedic this time. So all in all, it takes about 6 years from starting you with the service to become a qualified paramedic, and all the time you're being paid for that as well.
I remember. Sorry, Chris. You're right. You're getting paid to earn while you learn is the key phrase there. Rather than maybe going off to college or university, certainly university, you can get all the necessary training and qualifications you need whilst working as an apprentice.
Absolutely, and the main thing for us is that while you're out there working as an apprentice, you also know what you're getting. You know what to expect. There's no shocks there when you've finished your course. You know that you're working shifts. You know that you're going to see some very unpleasant things. And you also find ways of dealing with that. And you also realise that the ways that the employer have got of dealing with that as well. So what's in place for us to provide staff welfare wise. But the apprentice route is so popular at the minute that is the main thing that we recruit for. We normally recruit every sort of 4 to 6 months, but it all depends on staffing needs. But we have that constant progression through the ranks as well, which means that we are constantly taken on throughout the year. So we do have that constant progression up the ranks.
Brilliant. And I mean, that's important as well to know that progression. We're taking questions live, Chris, as we're talking here. So if I can just ask for some help with this one. Sue's asked, are there any qualifications needed to be a call handler?
No, there's nothing. I mean, what will happen is when you apply for the role of call handler, the best thing that you're going to, the best examples you can use there of anything regarding communication skills on your application form. Once you are successful in that role, you'll be put onto a training course with North West Ambulance Service anyway, when we'll make sure that you know what you're doing and that you are suitably qualified for the role.
Great. So hopefully that helps, Sue. And if you need more information, please do tag North West Ambulance Service in your question. And then Tony's literally just coming through now as we speak, Chris. Tony's asked, as a driver or technician, do you also need medical training too?
Yeah, so you'll start off. You can start off with nothing, no training whatsoever. Obviously, we'll put you through your initial 3 months worth of training, and then that includes your blue light training as well, and then you'll come out as the apprentice technician. So yeah, you will have medical training. We don't just have people that drive the ambulance now. You will be sort of part of a crew, so you will have a medical knowledge as well to be able to assist the paramedic in what they're doing.
Chris, can I just ask, because I think I remember asking you this question about how you got into this, and you said you used to watch episodes of Casualty, didn't you? And I mean, the reality though between, and I'm not knocking Casualty for 1 minute, but Casualty and then the real life of a paramedic, it does stretch the imagination a little bit. Not everything's a blue light, is it? For example,
no.
So to manage expectations of anybody applying into the role about being a paramedic, what would you want to say to them so they don't fall for that trap of thinking it's everything they see on programs like Casualty?
Yeah, so I mean, moving away from Casualty, we have obviously we have the 999 Watch for Emergency series as well, which is filmed with North West Ambulance Service. They do give a good insight into what we do. However, the reality of being out there for 12, 13, 14-hour shifts, it's a grueling job. It is a hard job. It's tough, especially with the things that we see. The fatigue that takes place, especially over the last 12 to 14 challenging months. But realistically, you've got to be able to communicate with a wide variety of people. That's the main thing that'll get you through this job, is communication skills, because of the harsh situations that you put into. But people, what doesn't come through a lot with these programs is just the fatigue that can come along with the length of shifts that you're doing mainly. We do as standard generally 12-hour shifts, and obviously we work 24/7 as well. So yeah, it does differ considerably from the program.
No, and thanks for that, because it is, you're a reality check, Chris, today, and I think for people who have come into your service maybe for those first few weeks or few months, do you actually see that yourself? Do you see that realization that it is a tough job ultimately?
Yeah, massively, especially when we see it with the direct entry students who come from university. So these guys, might not have a lot of experience of any employment pre NWAS, and obviously all of a sudden then you're doing 12, 13-hour shifts, night shifts, day shifts within the same week, and that takes its toll anyway on your body. You do obviously get used to that, and it does become easier. But yeah, we see people struggle with that at the beginning, to the point to where they do question, is this job for them? But obviously there is so much support within NWAS, from your crewmates, your colleagues, obviously to the educational teams that work within NWAS, that obviously we help you get through that. And it does just take a bit of acclimatisation, really. But you will get there. There are some people, obviously, that find that the job isn't for them, and there's nothing wrong with that at all, because this job isn't for everybody. Whatever aspect it is that you struggle with. But yeah, the fatigue side of it is I would say, one of the biggest challenges of the job.
Can you kind of tell, because you've experienced of people joining you, can you kind of tell if there's a few missing ingredients there that they may not be successful, and those who are, for you, what is the sort of the main difference, the ones who are going to make it and those that don't?
Yeah, I think the main thing there is you've got to be able to sort of, we have something called continual professional development. So with all the qualifications that we have to become a paramedic or a technician or whatever job we're doing in NWAS, you need to be able to hold your hands up and say, I don't know anything about that particular thing. Whatever it is, you've got to identify a learning need, or the learning need that you might have, and then go away and address that. So you go away and address that with an external course. You might do some online reading, and this is the type of people we see that actually succeed and thrive in this job, are those people that identify their own learning needs. So we might go to a patient that's fallen over, broken the hip, and they might not recognise that, so they go away and they read up around that. They read all around the signs and symptoms of a hip fracture, for example, and then next time they come to that job, they know all about it. So it's addressing those gaps in learning that you've got, and actually being open about that. And the other main thing is mistakes. If you make a mistake, you own up to it, you admit it straight away, and then you learn from that. It becomes a learning a need then. So them are the main things where we see people thrive, is those two areas. They've got to admit when they don't know something, and any mistakes that are made, you learn from them. And move forward.
And for you, Chris, I mean, you're learning every day. I mean, is there certain incidents, recent ones that you come across, you don't need to give names obviously, but things that kind of summarise or sum up what this job's all about?
Yeah, I mean, the main things at the minute is our urgent care work, where we're actually out in the community, not providing emergency care, but we're actually providing care maybe for the elderly, or for people who have fallen under the radar, especially during the current pandemic, with mental health services. They do generally fall under the radar, and they're not being monitored by any particular teams. That all normally comes back to us in the community, and then we've got to try and engage with those teams again. So that's the main sort of examples we can give, is just the amount of community individuals in the community that we deal with who, due to the pandemic, do fall underneath outside of that team. And we've got to re-engage with that team.
And just before we let you go, Chris, one of our favourite questions here on the channel is finding out people's first job. I'm talking about when you were in school. What was that first job, either voluntary or when you got your first pay packet? Can you remember doing your first job?
Yeah, my first job, I left college and worked at Morrison's. I worked on the fish bar at Morrison's, which I thought was fantastic because it was quite gory. So maybe that's inbuilt. Maybe that's something I've always wanted to do, but it was quite gory, obviously gutting the fish. But I thought that was massively interesting from a biology point of view. So I think when you look back at that, you think, yeah, it's probably kind of that kind of inquisitiveness is kind of inbuilt. I think.
So when you were cutting fish up for customers, I mean, did it sort of click then that you wanted to be a paramedic, or when did you sort of realise actually I could do this job?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to be a paramedic, like I said, years ago, and I never forget, like going back to casualty, and I think one of the paramedics had a degree. And I remember my dad saying to me, you know, they've got a degree. It's not an easy job to get into. You've got to go to university. And I thought, maybe I won't do it then. But yeah, I think the first time I decided I was actually going to do it was probably when I'd qualified for a different profession, which was as a podiatrist, so chiropodist, and decided that I wanted to be involved more in the acute sector.
Yeah. Listen, always a pleasure to have you on, Chris, on the Jobs Live channel. Thanks so much for joining us for Care Live this morning. And there's been quite a number of people interested on the chat, as you can imagine. So if you could jump on there when you get a minute and take some of those questions and just really promote what you do, because, you know, it is a fantastic, rewarding job ultimately, isn't it?
It is a massively rewarding job, yeah. We don't always see the outcomes because a lot of the time, once we've taken the patient to hospital, we might not see that outcome because we're off to our next call. But yeah, it can be a hugely rewarding job, especially when we've found out and we've got feedback from a patient with regards to life-saving interventions that we've made. That is massively rewarding, yeah.
I'm sure it is, Chris. Thanks so much again for your time here on the Jobs Live channel. You take care of yourself as well, and hopefully see you soon back here on Jobs Live.
No problem. Thank you very much for that.
I should be joined by Bernadette Plum. Hi, Bernadette.
Hi, morning.
Good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. Are you actually in the hotel right now?
Yes. I am. I'm actually in one of the conference rooms at the moment.
And it must be a great feeling to be back in the hotel and seeing people coming through those doors.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, Monday was so good just to be able to open the doors again, you know, staff back in uniform, because we've had the staff obviously right throughout lockdown. We've had a number of the team, you know, looking after the hotel, sprucing it up, doing whatever needed to be done. But to actually see the guests, you know, walking back through the door was, yeah, brilliant.
And you're the general manager there, so just give us a flavour of what you do every day.
Well, I mean, obviously my responsibility, I'm overall responsible for the whole team at the hotel itself, making sure everything runs smoothly, all the operating procedures are done correctly, maintenance, you know, anything scheduled wise, actually filling on the departments when I needed. I'm actually trained from reception, so I've done the kitchen, I do the food and beverage, anything basic, everything and everything, anything and everything.
All roads lead to you then, it sounds like, Bernadette.
Exactly, yeah, definitely.
So let's get straight to it then. You are, how long has the hotel been in Preston? So Preston International Hotel, whereabouts are you and how long have you been there?
We're on Marsh Lane in Preston, just off Corporation Street, literally right next door to the university. We're the closest hotel for the university. We're in our 13th year of trading. We actually turned 13 on the 15th of October this year. So
yeah, brilliant.
We tucked away a little bit, but
yeah. And how many bedrooms?
We've got 75 bedrooms.
Great. Okay. So let's get into the roles that you've got on offer. And as you're talking to me, I'm going to bring up the website where these are featured. So tell us what you've got on offer right now that people can apply into, please.
Okay, so we've got two positions available at this present time. We've got the food and beverage team leader, and we've also got food and beverage assistant. Both roles consist pretty much of the same thing, obviously serving the guests for either breakfast or dinner, serving behind the bar, again, making sure that guest satisfaction is paramount to us, greeting the guests nicely, making sure the standard operating procedures are always adhered to. Obviously, the team leader will have a little bit more responsibility to that. They would obviously be doing the rotas and training any new team members.
So we've got them up on screen there now, and thank you. It's got a comprehensive job description as well. And I think it's fair to say, to manage expectations, it's going to be a busy role, and shifts are part of this, or weekend work is obvious as well.
It is, yeah. It's obviously more than especially the team leader, it's 5 over 7. But yeah, our shift patterns are a morning shift is like 6:30 till 3 or 2:30, and then an evening shift is 3 till 11. It's running slightly different at the moment because of the way we're operating. We're operating on a slightly shorter time scale for dinner and for breakfast, but obviously as we proceed and move through the year, this will hopefully go back to normality.
Fingers crossed for you, Bernadette. And just on the application process itself, just talk us through that then. So if I was looking at this now and I wanted to be food and beverage team leader, what do I do? How do I apply into this role?
Okay, so obviously the first thing you have to do when you click through the link, that will fetch you through to the legacy page, which is our management company. So you will see at the bottom you've got various tabs there for the areas. So you need to make sure that you pick the tab that's Lancashire, and then you will see the vacancies for us. The easiest way to apply to us is direct with the hotel to my email address, which is on the application, and then send your CV, and then obviously we would take it from there.
Right, and clearly you want people to apply to you, but we want them to be successful as well in their application. So someone who's probably seen their fair share of CVs over the years, Bernadette, and what can people put on there to make sure that you want to see them?
I mean, ideally for the two roles that we've got advertised, experience, especially the team leader experience, is essential on that one. Not as much for the food and beverage assistant, willing to train people, but it's basically just a comprehensive CV giving us an indication of the background, what qualifications they've got. It's a lot about, we tend to interview most people because it's a lot about personality for us. You can normally tell when somebody walks through that door that they're gonna, it's not just about being able to do the job, it's about being able to interact with people, which is important to us.
Absolutely. And if you are going to interview somebody and you meet them at interview, do you have an instinct almost straight away because of the way they are?
Well,
can you just give us a clue as to what makes a good interview?
Quite a number of people in the
Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, one of my things is always the way somebody comes dressed. I'm a bit old-fashioned that way. I still believe that somebody should, take care and dress appropriately for an interview. The amount of people that we've had through the door that just come as if they're, going to the gym or to the pub is, and being, you can, as soon as you start speaking to somebody, you can tell, a personality. We need, we can't have like shy people. We need outgoing people because there has to be that. They have to be able to interact straight away with the guests.
No, brilliant. We've had a couple of questions in on the chat, if I may. So we've got Alan's asking, what makes you stand out from other hospitality companies? That's a great question. I'm sure you could go on for a long time about that.
Well, I mean, at the hotel itself, it's a fantastic place to work. Majority of our staff, probably about 70-80% of the team here are long-standing team members. We have had, throughout the years, we've had team members leave but come back. because it is that good here. You know, we don't see people as just like colleagues. We are a family here. Most people that are here can multitask. Everybody's always 100% willing to help everybody. It's just a great place to work.
Yeah, I mean, that was my question later, actually, but Alan's taken it from me, was why work for you? So thank you, Alan. He just worded it in a different way. But, you know, at the moment, I'm sure it's very competitive out there between organisations, so you'll all want to say why work for you. But one of the things that comes up a lot on this, Bernadette, is progression within an organisation. People want to know they can get to your position eventually.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we are a small team, so it's, you know, there is that chance. Obviously, everybody, you know, has the chance to shine. There's like in-house training is compulsory to be done. But yeah, any position that comes up available in the hotel that's for progression, everybody, you know, 100% can you know, apply for it. And if they're the right member for that position, then yeah, they would definitely get it. Obviously, you need somebody going from my position. You need me to leave. You know what I mean? But then again, because we're a group, there is, you know, if people are willing to travel and want to move around, there's always positions that come available, you know, within the group of hotels.
No, I mean, we don't want you to leave, Bernadette. You've only just got back.
Yeah.
So Rose, also, just quickly, do you have any reception vacancies, or do you see many of them coming up in the future?
We don't have any reception vacancies at the moment. We are fully staffed on that department. It's a bit of a how long is a piece of string, really, as to how busy we progress throughout the year. We had to, unfortunately, let one of the receptionists go, you know, through the lockdown. But yeah, at the moment there isn't, but you never say never.
Yeah, and if somebody wanted to contact you about future opportunities, again, would you be happy to take a CV and hold it on file?
Yeah, 100%. Anybody wanting to either email the CV over, drop the CV into the hotel, and obviously, you know, say what department they're kind of looking at, then yeah, we're always willing to contact them, so should something become available.
Brilliant. And you may have already answered this question, but Rose also asking about any previous experience for the food and beverage position. I think you do need it at the management level, but what about the assistant level?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously, it'd be ideal if somebody came who had worked in the hospitality industry before, or even done like a shift pattern. But again, I'm not going to totally dismiss anybody and say no if they've worked in another environment. I believe, you know, because obviously I wouldn't have got into this industry without being given the opportunity. So I believe everybody, you know, deserves an opportunity. A lot of it is about personality and how they can adapt themselves to the role.
Brilliant. Okay, just finally, can I just ask how you got into this? What was your first job?
I actually, my first job, I was actually a travel agent. So I've always been in the leisure and tourism industry. Then I actually worked in a scuba diving centre that did travel. So I arranged the holidays, and I actually got to dive master. And then I always wanted, to work in a hotel was something that I always wanted to do. I'd say I was fortunate to apply for a receptionist position at another hotel who did give me that opportunity, and it kind of progressed through there, really.
So you never really look back, have you? I mean, you clearly enjoy this sector. What is it about it that keeps you coming back for more?
I think it's just a great, you know, hotels are a great place to work. You know, don't get me wrong, they have the moments where, like any other industry, you know, it's hard, and you literally dealing with the public every day sometimes can be challenging, you know, in any job. But you'll get that guest who will walk through the door and be just the perfect guest, and it kind of just makes you realise this is why you do the job. Yeah.
This is why you do the
You can't
job,
get out of it. Once you're in it, you can't get out of it.
Yeah. No, it sounds like you've had a great career, and hopefully people who are applying today into your hotel, that's the start of their career as well. And is there anything they can do work experience wise, or where could they maybe pick up, even if they're in school or college right now, where could they pick up some experience so that you may want to see them in the future?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we actually work with a lot of like the colleges, like Preston College, Runshaw, and we actually do, when they do, if a lot of them that doing the hospitality management courses or the hospitality and travel courses at the colleges, they will do a certain amount of on-the-job training, and we do take people to do that. And we've had people, we work with the Prince's Trust as well, and we've actually employed people that have come to us through work experience and through the Prince's Trust as well.
Brilliant. Well, look, we're going to show people a short video in a second about the hotel, so you can get a look and a bit of a virtual show round, which looks great. And I just want to say, Bernadette, thanks so much for your time
You're
here
welcome.
on the Jobs Live channel, and please do come back on with any future vacancies that you've got, and when we do shine a light on this fantastic sector, it'd be great to get you back on to tell us a bit more about opportunities that exist there within the Preston International Hotel. In the meantime, Bernadette, thanks so much for your time. You take care, and
you're welcome.
and welcome back. It's
Thank
great
you
to
very
see
much.
you.
Thank you. It's great to be back. Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Stuart. So today I have been joined by Steve West. So could you tell us a little bit about your previous experience of hospitality and what you are doing currently?
Yeah, I've been in hospitality for, this will be my 43rd year as a chef in hospitality. About 10 years ago, I went into teaching, but since I was a chef, I taught an apprentice chef in London. Moved around to different areas, and in 2000 I became self-employed as a freelance chef, and I decided to go into teaching and loved every minute of it. So currently what I'm doing, assessing apprentices, teaching apprentices, adult training, food safety, community adult training as well. And now that lockdown is going to be opening, we're hoping to see a lot more young apprentices coming through the system now. So hopefully we'll be a little bit more busier for the future.
Absolutely. And just to touch on the previous experience that you've had, it's just incredible. Like, you've had 43 years as a chef in hospitality. And you've had so many different things going on. You've had obviously the foundation degree in arts, and obviously that has helped a lot with your career, I assume, and just from going all through that experience, especially with the teaching side of things.
I teach multi-level, from entry level right up to foundation degree to professional cookery, and it was a foundation degree in international management. And many people are under misgivings that in hospitality, that in actual fact you can't get a degree or a master's. In actual fact, it's a rich, beautiful course to be on, because it offers pathways to those that might not want to go in the kitchen. But once you go into a hotel, it has everything for everybody. You know, you've got housekeeping. You obviously have the front and back of house, housekeeping, rooms division, the complexity of the hospitality degree. It is a beautiful thing, and to achieve that, it then inspires these young people actually to show them they have a good long future in the industry, and it is a fantastic degree to have. And especially with the level 3 professional cookery and the apprentices, it's an incredible place to be, right in the middle of both industry and education. It's the crosshairs of fantastic, passionate place to be, really.
Absolutely, I can easily believe that. So at the moment, whereabouts are you based?
I'm in the East Midlands at the moment, and I'm lucky enough to be part of a company that I contract out to that sends me all over the UK when hospitality is open again, and the assessors are. The assessments are going to come back into play again with the young chefs, and so I'll be everywhere from Cornwall, down to Weston-super-Mare, Lake Windermere, Milton Keynes, all over the country. So it's nice to see the different areas and see the different restaurants that actually that are stepping up and helping these apprentices as well. Even though I'm based in the Midlands, which is pretty handy, to be fair.
I can easily believe that. So obviously hospitality has had quite a hit, obviously, over the previous year with COVID-19. Could you give us a little bit of insight into the broader range of how it has impacted specifically the hospitality sector?
That is a question and a half. That is, excuse me. It's thrown up so many issues, this COVID. One of them being the core principle of the fact that, two core principles is that one, that Brexit has stopped the EU migrant workers coming over that supported our industry for so many years. They have been the backbone of it, and we are now having a petition for to relax the laws on the EU migrant workers at the moment, and would implore anybody to really think about that petition currently. That's one side of it. The other side of it is the impact on small businesses and businesses up and down the country, finding chefs, and there's a massive shortage of chefs at the moment. It's going to be quite devastating. Even speaking to a friend of mine who runs a recruitment agency up here in the Midlands, literally got a text this morning, can I find 2 chefs for this particular small business? Can't find them. He's had to stop contracts. The chefs are have they left the industry? Well, my feeling is that some have, but you know what is really quite strange is that, and I've noticed a pattern these last few weeks, as events are opening, there doesn't seem to be a shortage of chefs in events. It's the restaurants that are suffering, and there seems to be heavily weighted towards going back into events with football stadiums, theatres coming up. There seems to be a shift in that. For why, I don't know. So it's only really, it's occurred to me these last few weeks, really, how it's happening.
Yeah, I agree.
That is quite strange, especially obviously as you said that it kind of the went away and now it seems like everything is coming back, but then again there is the events there that's available for them to go to and work at. So obviously with those kind of people that are wanting to get into the hospitality sector as a chef and also in any other role, what kind of people does the hospitality industry need right now?
Currently, all levels, like I said before with the EU migrants, we're looking at all levels. All levels are welcome into the industry, and predominantly it seems to be chefs, because historically, really, front of house staff are set on by local kids who are going to university, school, so that the front of house tends to look after itself a little bit more. But the chefs and the kitchens are really crying out for chefs at the moment, and I did hear that chefs are now demanding their own pay packet. They're actually sort of demanding higher wages, and that's going to put a massive effect on businesses, because businesses won't be able to be financially healthy to subscribe to these chefs coming in and meeting the wages that they're asking for. So the different levels they're looking at, especially a specialism like a pastry chef. Currently, pastry chefs are very, very short indeed. I've reflected on this and wondered if the pastry chefs have decided to actually open their own businesses. You might have seen a glut of Facebook pages whereby these young people are making up their cakes, sending them out. And so I'm wondering if actually they decided to become little mini entrepreneurs up and down the country, and maybe that's could be an answer to why there's not many pastry chefs out there. And it's a specialism much needed. definitely much needed in the industry.
100%, and I agree with you. There has been a lot of Facebook pages where people have been branching out. Not that I'm complaining, but
it would be a bit of chocolate and sponge. Come on, please.
Exactly. Perfect. So obviously, those people that are wanting to get into the industry, especially if it's a patisserie chef, as well, with that opening available. Do you have any hints or tips for them that might be looking into the hospitality industry in particular?
Yes, well, further education colleges up and down the country are finding it difficult for some reason the last few years to recruit into curriculum professional cookery and front of house. In local areas again, students to come in. We're not quite sure why the numbers have fallen so much, but the colleges do need to rely on those numbers for the funding. Anybody that wants to come into the industry, go to the local colleges, maybe even find, it might have been that you've been pot washing in a local restaurant, and that an apprenticeship is offered to you. Apprenticeships is a very rich course to go on, supported by providers and colleges, and supported by the businesses. So there are many ways in, and the great thing about apprentices, you get a bespoke environment to work in. You work with a decent chef. They'll progress you. They'll work closely with the provider that will build your confidence, and then you can start to look at the progression or the pathway that you like to look at for a future career in it. I mean, 43 years, and I still learn stuff, different ways of plating up, little techniques. And after 43 years, it's stood me in good stead. So I haven't had a bad career out of it, to be fair.
Brilliant, that's great. So obviously, though, a lot of people, I'm sure, will get a lot of information out of that, especially with, as you said, it's still like being at school again. It's, you learn something new every day, and it's an amazing industry to just keep learning different skills, as you mentioned there. But in terms of the future of hospitality, do you think that there are any solutions after obviously this year that we've had, and what do you feel is needed and how it can be done?
Well, industry needs to come together.
Keep an eye on it.
I believe this is a personal view. I've thought this through so much. The infrastructure of hospitality, both in education and the actual infrastructure of hospitality itself, has been always in place. What's needed now is really adhesion between education and businesses now. And in 2014, the Trailblazer Group that started the apprentices standards have put a massive, robust system for the apprenticeship standards. So an idea would have been, let's say, have a Trailblazer group to start looking at how businesses could link into colleges. Now, colleges have work experience departments whereby the students over the year, the period of time they're on term, have to do a certain amount of work experience hours. So my idea would be, and I spoke to my friend this morning in recruitment, how feasible would it be for a recruitment agency to link in with that employment engagement department and start adhering and liaison and open dialogue between the college, the engagement team the recruitment agencies who could then help out because they have the local networks and the local businesses on side, and start building that stopgap of skills, supporting businesses at a local level, whereby it can then kickstart hospitality business. And with colleges, they have different levels, and it will have different skill sets, so they can meet the needs. Both the business and the college could meet the needs. It's just finding a way of tangibly building that link between the two. And I believe that's a way forward whereby we can do that. And as I said before, currently, literally doing the slides today, adult training. Let's colleges now network and reach out to adult training. And I only heard this morning on the radio about the initiative for people to retrain. I'm doing a 2-week course for hospitality, the introduction into hospitality, in the next couple of weeks, which includes customer service, food, the introduction on different sectors, the services they bring. So that's going to be an intense course. Now, even though people might be leaving, that's not to say that people would like to retrain to come into hospitality, find a different pathways, administration, HR, reception, housekeeping, like I said before, and actually have a really rich, viable career like I have as well. So that's just a little idea maybe to start and kickstart something.
So hopefully I can get as much as I can done today.
Yeah, blitz it.
Absolutely, and I think that suggestion right there will at the very least open up a conversation about it and moving further forward. But I 100% agree. It would be the same with like apprenticeships and colleges where they do that and work together with a business to bring it further forward. So that'd be brilliant.
Yeah, it's just an idea, but you never know.
You never know, indeed. Well,
you never know.
Thank you so much, Steve, for your time today. It's been incredible speaking to you and getting your insight into the hospitality sector as a whole and also over the last year. But if anybody's got any questions for Steve, then please leave them in the live chat and someone will get back to you as soon as possible with regards to those. But for now, I just want to again say thank you for your time today, Steve, and for everything that you mentioned there.
Appreciate your time on this. Thank you very much, Jim.
Thank you. So bye for now, and it's back to Stu in the studio.
Thanks, Stuart. I have been joined by Laura Cross today from Infinity Company. So hi Laura, it's nice to meet you.
Hi, you okay?
I'm good, thanks. So please tell us a little bit about what your company does.
So Affinity Home Care, we provide care to the adults over age 18 in their own homes on a one-to-one basis. We are offering an efficient, flexible and professional home care service to allow people to remain in their own homes for as long as possible. And as we probably all know now, as we grow much older, home becomes an even more important place for us and a sanctuary of security and safety, and where we want to be a part of that.
Oh wow, fantastic. And where is it that you're based?
So our head office is actually based in Wilmslow, Cheshire, and there we cover Macclesfield, Alderley Edge, Hale and Wilmslow, and then we've got another 2 offices based in Wales, one in Aberystwyth and one in Newtown.
Oh, fantastic. So it's great to see that you've got so many bases as well across the UK. So what roles is it that you are currently recruiting?
So currently we are looking for home care workers to work a variety of shifts. So our shifts start from 7 a.m. till 2 p.m. and they cover mornings and lunches. And then we start tea and evenings, which starts from around 3:30 till 10. And the roles themselves, as you can imagine, it's out in the community, so we do need car drivers or at least access to a vehicle, because you are going to need to be going from house to house and being able to meet a certain deadline with times.
Okay, fantastic. And what kind of people are you looking for to join your organisation?
So it takes a certain type of someone to do care work, and having done the role myself, it is very challenging. However, it is rewarding. We do want applicants to make sure they fully understand the role, they know what the job entails. You need to be enthusiastic, compassionate, and very much have a can-do attitude. The staff that we want to employ need to understand that they're not just going to walk in to befriend an older person. They are there to provide a service, be supportive, and befriend them, but also be a listening ear for them. Because as we all know, during the pandemic, a lot of people have lost family members or not seen them, and we can sometimes be classed as the daughter or the son that they just haven't seen for a year.
No, absolutely. So it's fantastic to see that you're able to provide that support to those out in the community. So why work for you then?
So working in the care sector myself, I've been working in the care sector now for over a decade, so I'm not going to say my age. But anyone from the director to myself, the branch managers, deputies and seniors, we've all had hands-on care work experience, and I think that's quite hard to come by really. So we understand the pain or the struggles that families go through or service users go through, and that of the staff. It isn't a case of walking in sometimes to look after a lovely old lady with a lovely china teacup set. You can walk in sometimes and families are disjointed, or the living conditions are far from what you would think would be normal, and we have to be seen to be supporting them and our staff. And I think it helps working for a family-based company that's been going now for just under 15 years, that we fully understand and appreciate what people are going through and what our staff are put through every day.
No, absolutely. And do you have any hints or tips for those who are wanting to apply?
Definitely. So I've done hundreds of interviews over the last 10 years, and what I would suggest is go away, if you are going to apply to become a domiciliary care worker, go away and actually research the role, research what it is that will be expected of you. Personal care is a major aspect of the role, and some people may not feel comfortable providing personal care to male or female service users of ours. And I would 100% say is if you are compassionate and empathetic towards people, bring that across to us in interview. We don't just look at your CV, we don't just reel people off on what experience you do have and what you don't have. Don't stress too much and just be yourself, and if that will come across in an interview for us, and that helps us make that decision at the end.
Oh, well, that is some fantastic tips that you've provided for us today. So thank you very much for joining us. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. And back to you, Stuart, in the studio.
Thanks, Stuart. So today I have been joined by Alex from Eddie Stobart. So Alex, could you tell us a little bit more about Eddie Stobart and what you guys do there?
Yeah, of course I can. So Eddie Stobart is a transport and logistics and warehousing business. We're based all across the UK. We store and move goods on behalf of our customers over a 7-day week, 24/7 operation. We've got about 6,600 staff working across all the operating centres all across the UK.
Perfect, that sounds amazing. So you mentioned all across the UK there, but where exactly are you guys based?
So my team and myself are based at our operating centre in Wellington, but we've got lots of other operating centres, mostly around the Midlands. We've got some in the south of the country as well, but basically all over the UK we've got bases.
Perfect, that's lovely. So what roles are you guys recruiting for at the moment?
So we've got a wide range of roles that we're recruiting for. Anywhere from warehouse operatives and forklift truck drivers to class 1 drivers, and then also office staff. So that could be anything and everything from finance support, HR, customer service and administration roles.
Perfect, that sounds lovely. So a nice variety there. So what kind of people are you looking for to join your organisation, especially with those type of roles in mind?
Yeah, we're looking for anybody that's enthusiastic and hardworking who wants to come and join a big brand like Eddie Stobart. It is a tough industry to work in, but it's very rewarding and it's also really exciting and challenging.
Perfect, that's lovely. So why would someone want to come and work for Eddie Stobart?
So our business was formed in 1970 and we are still operating today. We are a really successful business, and everybody that works for our business is extremely proud of who we are and what we do. We all work together to get things done, and we are really successful.
Brilliant, that's amazing. So for anyone out there that's wanting to apply today, do you have any hints or tips for them?
Yeah, my top tips would be make sure that your CV is kept up to date and it's got the correct contact details on it. Make sure you do a spell check and make sure that everything makes sense on it. Attention to detail is key for a lot of our roles, so that's some of the basic things that we look for in applications. I would also say make sure that you apply for a job that's relevant to you and you've got the correct skill set for, especially if it requires formal qualifications. If you don't have them, don't apply for it.
Perfect, that's lovely. Well, thank you so much, Alex, for your time today, and thank you for those amazing hints and tips there as well. I'm sure a lot of people will be getting a lot out of that. However, unfortunately, that is the end of the interview for today, but hopefully we'll have you back onto the Jobs Live channel again very soon. But for now, it's back to Stuart in the studio.
So I've now been joined by Alice from Rosendale Trust. Hi, Alice.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us on the Jobs Live channel for this Northwest Works For You broadcast. Just tell me a little bit about yourself and what your company does.
Yes, so hi, nice to join you. My name's Alice Clues. I work in the HR department at the Rosendale Trust. The Rosendale Trust provides supported living care to adults with learning and physical disabilities in apartments and houses. So our care support workers work as part of a team, and they provide high standards of care and support to our tenants to enable them to live a full and meaningful life. So they'll promote independence and choice for each tenant in all aspects of their life. So that could be cooking, cleaning, personal care, attending appointments, and leisure activities as well.
Great. So as an organisation, where are you actually based?
So we're actually primarily based in Sutton, Macclesfield, but we do have properties in Buxton as well.
Great. So anybody who came working for you, Alice, currently would that be physically coming into the office, or is there some element of remote working as well?
So it's support workers, so they would work in the tenants' apartments or houses, so that would be in Macclesfield. If the position's based in Macclesfield, it would be in Macclesfield, or we do have positions that sometimes are available in Buxton.
Perfect. Okay, great. Just tell us the kind of roles that you're recruiting for then currently.
So at the moment, we have full-time and part-time positions available for care support workers based at our Macclesfield locations. I would always say it's a good idea to keep an eye on our website to check what vacancies we do have, because, for example, we might have positions in Buxton come up available, or similarly, we do recruit for night workers as well, so they may come up on our website in the near future.
Perfect. And the kind of people you're looking for then, people that you were wanting to speak to today, who succeed in your organisation, what do those people look like, Alice?
So we're looking for people who are caring, patient, and that are willing to support vulnerable adults while ensuring that they treat them with the dignity and respect. We don't require people to have experience to work with us, because we believe that those personal skills are more important, and we do offer full training, so it's not something you need to have experience in. Of course it is an advantage, but it's not essential.
And why work for Rosendale Trust? I mean, what's the benefits of joining you and starting a career with you, and what do you find people enjoy the most about working for the Trust?
So I think the main thing is that working in care, it can be a very rewarding career, because you're making a difference every day to someone else's life and supporting them to live their life fully and meaningful as they can do. So we also have career progression opportunities. So we offer the opportunity to gain qualifications, so level 2, level 3 in health and social care. And we also have a range of staff benefits, such as a health cash plan, long service awards, enhanced sick pay schemes, and life assurance schemes.
So plenty of benefits, and obviously all of that is detailed in the job vacancies. As people apply, they can read up on that.
yeah, there's lots of information, and if anyone has any questions, they can get in touch with us.
Perfect. Well, this is their chance to do that actually now on this broadcast, to use the live chat to get in touch with Alice and the team at Rosendale, and I'm sure you can guide them. And really my final question is around that, you know, for people who have applied successfully to work for you in the past, any hints or tips for those applying maybe today and to make sure they are successful in that process?
I would always say it's a good idea to have a good look on our website and just find out more about what we do, and to always look at the job profile of the role that you're applying for, which are all on our website. Make sure you familiarise yourself with that role before you start your application form. And then when you do fill in your application form, include as much information as you can for all the questions it asks, and explain why you think you would be suited to fit that role.
Great. And in the current climate, I mean, are you doing lots of interviews online, or on Zoom or on Teams?
Sometimes we do have interviews online, yes, but we do occasionally have interviews in person, obviously social distance and everything, because our care staff are still at work and the key workers, so
I think it's been put back.
they are, you know, all the precautions in place.
Spoke to Lisa. She was like,
great. It's good to know. It's good to know when people are
yeah.
applying
And
what
she
their
was like,
expectation
I'm
is of
really
an
sorry,
interview
she was like,
and where that
she was like,
would take
I've got a
place.
really
So
bad
thanks for
Brummy accent.
letting
She
us know
was very
about that, and let
She
us
was like,
let
I'm
us know
just
more
so
about
conscious
Rosendale
of my
Trust as
accent.
well.
She was like, I don't
Alice,
mean
it's
to
been
be
great to understand more about your organisation, and people can find out much more on your partner page, and of course we'll leave the chat
This is
open
why I'm
for any
getting him
future
in.
inquiries.
She was like, but I just can't, and she's got nobody supporting her at the moment, like in recruitment.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us here on the Jobs Live channel for this
So,
Northwest
she's got a
Works for
lot
You
on.
event. We'll
I think
hopefully
that's
see you
why
again
Kev's
soon,
coming
Alice,
in and stuff.
on the channel.
And she said, I
Take
can't wait
care.
till like the next one we
Thank
do
you.
when he can come on and like do it live. She said, but
Thanks, Stuart.
she said,
I have
just
been
can't."
joined
She
by
said, "I don't
Alison
even
Clark
get
from
into
the
photos."
Alternative
She was
Futures
like,
Group.
I don't give credit
So
to
tell me,
myself.
Alison,
She
can you
went,
give me a
"Really
quick
good
introduction about yourself?
Okay, well, we don't want to fall under any
Yeah, hi,
undue
I'm
pressure.
Alison Clark and I'm the Talent and Attraction Lead for AFG.
Okay, fantastic. So can you tell me about what your company does?
Sure, we are a health and social care charity. We are the largest health and social care charity in the Northwest, and we provide supporting living services to people with learning disabilities and mental health conditions.
Oh wow, fantastic. And where is it that you're based?
Well, our headquarters are based in Prescott, which is Merseyside, but we, as I say, we provide services across the Northwest, so Cheshire, Merseyside and Lancashire, as well as Rochdale. We also have 6 independent hospitals, and they are in Wigan, Ellesmere Port, Warrington, Wythenshawe and Bolton. So we pretty much cover the whole of the Northwest.
Oh wow, fantastic. It's great to see that you're able to provide care to as many people. So what roles is it that you are recruiting for?
Predominantly we recruit for support workers, and support workers comes in 3 different ways for AFG. So we have a support worker that works in our supported living services, and they may be working within a small team in a property supporting 2 or 3 people to live independent lives, and that's a permanent team that's in place 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alternatively, it could be an outreach support worker, and they have a small list of people that they visit each week just to check in on them, make sure they're okay. And then we also have the support workers who work in our independent hospitals, supporting the clinical team, the mental health nurses and the occupational therapists in that more clinical setting for mental health.
Okay, fantastic. So it's great to see that you've got a variety of roles that you cover at the company. So what kind of people is it that you're looking to join your organisation?
Is Lisa and her team going to be on?
So we don't recruit for skills or experience. We look for people that represent our values. Our values are, we are one, we raise the bar, every person matters, we make a positive difference, and we take ownership. I'm just making sure I get them right. They are fundamental to everything that we do, and we're also looking for people that are keen to develop their skills and provide person-centred care as well.
Oh, that's really nice to hear. So tell me, so what are the benefits for people to join your company? So why work for you?
Okay, well, I've given this a good deal of thought, and we have an award-winning commitment to people development. We won the largest employer award just a few weeks ago, and this is underpinned by the apprenticeships that we have on offer, and also more advanced levels, so QCF levels 2 to 4, the old MBQs, and we've been recognised as promoting that as an essential part of our organisation. And we also look for people to bring their passions to work, by which I mean that could be football or it could be making cakes, and we will find a match for somebody and then you can share your passions together by baking cakes or, like I say, playing football or anything really. And that's very different in that we match for that. And then we celebrate our success every year at an annual awards event. It was a bit quiet the last one, but prior to that, it's a big black tie affair, and people that represent our values are nominated for the awards throughout the year, and then we celebrate that as well.
Oh wow, that's fantastic. So for those who are keen to join the industry, what hints or tips can you give to those who are applying?
Well, I would say have a look at the job adverts, and there's a lot of different support workers being advertised all the time. We provide a lot of detail around the very specific nature of the support that you'll be providing for every individual advert we put out. So take time to find one that really matches what it is you're about and you can offer. And then take some more time to think about how you can get that across in your job application. We have one particular question, for example, in our application form, and you can take the opportunity to tell us more about yourself and why you think you're right for this particular service, and obviously a good up-to-date CV, always needed.
Oh, that's some really great advice that you've provided for us today, and some interesting information about your company as well. But that's all that we have time for today. But thank you very much for joining us. So it's back to you, Stuart, in the studio.
We're going to speak to Amanda from Stockport Homes. Amanda, is it fair to say the building industry is also in a bit of a boom at the moment?
It is, yes. Very fair to say that, definitely.
So you're Amanda Ward from Stockport Homes. Just tell us, Amanda, a little bit about your role there within Stockport Homes.
So yes, Amanda Ward, Stockport Homes. I'm the Employment Support Manager. So essentially one might think that our business is just generally about rent collection or buildings or properties, but it's really about communities. It's absolutely, we've got our mission, which is one team transforming lives. So essentially my job as the Employment Support Manager, I manage a team that support our customers to get back into employment, because that's really important to us to be able to support our customers.
And I guess the clue's in the title, but Stockport Homes as a company, what do you do?
So we've got quite a lot of different areas that we work on. Recently we actually had a big business development, and we changed our company structure. So we are now Stockport Homes Limited, and we have lots of different arms. So we have Viaduct, which is our development arm, and we've got 360, which is our trading company, which does our capital works and commercially selling construction services. And we've recently just created our Foundations Charitable Community Benefit Society, essentially a charity. And we've got a lot of things that work in that area of the business, everything from your local pantries to furniture recycling to our Motivate service, which runs, we're one of the housing associations that deliver that across Greater Manchester, which supports those who are furthest to reach back into employment. So there's a lot of different areas that are within the business, not just sort of, the actual core elements of running a housing association on behalf of the local council.
And just give us a sense of size of your organisation. How many people do you roughly employ at the moment?
So we've got just shy of 650 employees. We've got a lot of employees now in a lot of different areas of the business. So like we're saying, sort of like the Foundations charitable arm, that's recently started to really grow. So that's getting much more employees in. And we've also got as well our 360, which is growing all the time, as you referenced right at the start, Stuart. Construction really is booming. So it's a lot of work that we're doing there. We don't just do a lot of work in Stockport. We've also recently been installing fire doors in schools in Rochdale. We do a lot of different work over a lot of different regions, and there's a lot of kind of different community elements that make up Stockport Homes as well, because we really are very much a values-based employer, and it's about how we manage to support our community and how we can make sure that our workforce represents our community as well. We're very keen to employ local people so that we know that we've got our workforce representing the people that we support and serve.
That's fantastic. And we're here at the channel, Jobs Live channel, is to educate, inspire, and connect people. And one of the things that I very obvious from talking to organisations today is that education piece around people may look at Stockport Homes and go, nah, that's not really for me. But actually, if they drill down a little bit deeper, there's so many roles that you bring in people with transferable skills from different sectors. You must see that every day, people who've never worked in your sector being able to find a home in your company.
Oh, I think it's the classic line. We always say it. Nobody dreams of a life in housing. Nobody starts their career and thinks, right, crikey, housing, that's where I need to be. Nearly everybody in the organisation has come from somewhere else, some other kind of industry, some different elements. And we really do bring a lot of that together, and then people start to come and work for us. I was looking recently to prepare for sort of like this morning, and we've got so many different jobs that we've recruited for in the past 6 months alone, not just sort of like those construction and joinery jobs, but antisocial behaviour team leaders and key workers and housing support officers, so many different elements of the business. And I think a lot of people don't always think that a housing association has so many component parts. We've got finance, we've got HR, we've got our marketing and comms team, which do external work for the organisation and also as well for other organisations. So there's a lot of different elements to working for a housing association. It really is quite a wide and diverse field. But you're right, Stuart, not everybody thinks of housing. That's the key area for me to move into.
No, indeed. And I think part of today is making sure people are aware of that. But just give us a flavour of the kind of roles that you have currently within Stockport Homes. If I was to go on your website now, what would I find?
So this is the concerning part. So at the moment, you'd only find one job that we have, but this is because we've changed our recruitment organisation that does all of our online recruitment. And by the end of today, though, there will be a lot of other jobs that are going up, but it's like the changeover day has just been today.
Typical,
so at the moment, we've got our, it's typical, it's just typical. At the moment, we have our HR administration. Up until Sunday, we had an electrical engineer's job that was available. But we've got quite a few different key workers, support worker roles that are in the pipeline. We've got some team manager roles that will be coming out in the next few weeks as well. And I've been reassured by HR this morning that there are at least 10 other positions that will be on the website by this afternoon.
That's brilliant. So if someone wants to get in touch with you, you could send them that information, those links,
Absolutely.
So they can refresh the page later on today and hopefully see a lot more roles there.
More jobs there, yes, definitely.
Perfect. So there's something, if you wanted to go to Stockport Homes, and I'm sure your team will put the link on the live chat as we're talking there, so people can go straight to that page and ensure that people find you and can register or do whatever they need to do to get in touch. Amanda, you obviously, in your role, you see a lot of people's applications, and then you recruit them, and you must sort of see a pattern emerging of the kind of people who are successful in Stockport Homes. What is that? What are you looking for in people when they come work for you?
For us, it's the values. So we work to our Aspire values, and it really is core for all areas of the business, whether that's in construction elements or whether that's in our HR team or our finance team. It absolutely is the values. And for us, it's about providing an exceptional customer experience for everybody who is one of our tenants, and also as well working hard to change and create better communities. That's absolutely at the core of our mission, really. So there's a lot of things that we look for that are more sort of like your values as opposed to your actual technical skills and abilities. Certainly looking for the right type of fit for a Stockport Homes employee.
Thank you. And as an organisation, I mean, what's the benefits of working for you? I mean, what does working at Stockport Homes mean for someone who joins you?
I think there's some of the core headline things. So we're a living wage employer, we're a Stonewall diversity champion, we are platinum rated investors in people. Our most proud achievement is that we are in the Sunday Times top 100 best non-for-profit organisation. We are number one as of 2020.
Well, congratulations.
So it is, but for us as well, it's the package that we offer all of our workers, or everybody who works for Stockport Homes. There's an amazing amount of emphasis that's on health and well-being, that's on supporting people. We support staff to do qualifications, accredited qualifications, diplomas. There's a lot of work that goes into, we're very keen to grow our community, grow our own, and make sure that people have amazing opportunities to develop and that people are happy at work. We have a lot of things that we do. We do Aspire Days, so where people can take part in activities and really feel part of the company. We've done a few of those remotely even over this period of time, and sort of like lots of packages and documents and goodie bags and things like that are sent out to staff, and we're all brought together virtually to do wonderful activities. But it really is very much a family, and it's an amazing organisation to work for, and there's a wealth of opportunities. We've been working very hard with the DWP in relation to kickstart opportunities. We've got 7 of those that have 4 have just started today, so we've got another 3 to start later on this week, and we've got a new range of kickstart opportunities that are coming out as well. But there's just so many opportunities for people to join the organisation and to grow and to really develop themselves and their skills. We work really hard with people to make sure that your working pattern and your working life balance is where it should be as well. So we do a lot of we all do a lot of working from home now, don't we? But there's a lot of that working from home, but also as well flexible working if somebody wants to do compressed hours. So there's a lot of different benefits and different opportunities just by working for Stockport Homes that people can access.
Thanks, Amanda. Thanks for sharing that with us. And regarding, you've talked there about the people who work for you and what they bring to the organisation, and of course the benefits of working for you as well. My final question is around really the support that we're offering today. As you know, there's lots of your peers and lots of organisations supporting people back into work, because it is quite isolating, isn't it? Quite lonely journey when you're looking for work, and any support you can get is much appreciated. So you as an employer, what hints or what tips can you give people right now to make sure their application is successful?
Well, I would say, first of all, if you want to get in touch with us, my team are there on hand to help people with CV writing, job searching, applications, all that kind of support. So we are a tenancy blind service, so it doesn't mean that just if you're not a Stockport Homes tenant, you can't access the service. We want to help everybody secure their next career. I think in terms of just little hints and tips that people can take away, definitely that CV. Make sure that your person spec at the top absolutely matches the job that you're going for. The role profile that you've been asked to meet should absolutely come through in the person spec at the top, so that an employer very quickly can say, right, okay, you're ideal. And the other tip I would give is really, really get yourself a really good quality professional email address. It really is much more important than you think.
And that's the first time we've heard that today. So are you saying to me you're still seeing people with maybe an email address they had when they were in school?
Every so often we find a quirky email address, yes, and it does make you think. And as much as kind of like, you want an employer to see your personality, and but you also want them to see your personality when you arrive for interview. So it's really important that even if you just got that generic one, just because it makes it easier. It makes it easier for you as well when you're job searching, because those emails will go back to that one address, and just make sure it is quite a good quality email address. And the other tip I would give as well is make sure if you're applying for lots and lots of jobs all in one time frame, make sure you do keep all the documentation, the role profile that you've applied for and what it is you're looking for. You'll be surprised how many people email an employer to ask them for the role profile for the job that they've applied for. So it is, just keep that record.
No, that's brilliant advice, and especially around the email. I mean, some people just may fall into that trap, as you say. It's been there for years, but it is time to change it, isn't it? Make it more professional looking, especially when you're applying to organisations like your own. Look, this has been really helpful. I'm sorry we ran out of time, Amanda. We could have probably talked for another hour at least, couldn't we, about hints and tips and, of course, what Stockport Homes do. But please do get in touch with Stockport Homes on the Jobs Live channel. You'll see their partner page right now. I know the team are there waiting to take your questions. If you've got any questions about them and what they do, and especially when those jobs go live in a couple of hours, hopefully, on your website. Fingers crossed, anyway. Thanks so much for joining us. We've got another interview coming up very soon. We're going to meet up with Waits, who are also in that construction space. So lots of construction opportunities today here on Jobs Live. In the meantime, thanks so much, Amanda. Take care, and we'll see you soon on the Jobs Live channel.
Thank you. Bye.
So welcome back to Jobs Live. This is Wednesday, and thank you for joining us here on the Jobs Live channel. Hope you found today useful. Lots of employers online right now waiting to speak to you about their vacancies. And next up, we have Amy from Connected Talent. Hello, Amy.
Hiya, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Jobs Live channel. So not many people may have heard of Connected Talent, and I know there's other parts of the business as well called Connected Health, but tell us a little bit more about the company and where you're based.
Yeah, so basically I work for Connected Talent, but I be hiring for Connected Health. So that's who we be hiring for. It's a domiciliary healthcare company. So we help obviously care for elderly, vulnerable people in their homes. So we be hiring people to be able to do that job. So we started in 2012 in Northern Ireland. That's where our headquarters would be. So we started there and have grown ever since. We now cover most of Northern Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, and about 2 years ago we then branched into the UK. So we're based now in Widnes. We have an office there and we've massive growth plans. We have quadrupled in size over the past 6 months. It's been brilliant. So now we've got a massive push on recruitment and to help get healthcare workers for us. So we do have plans now to open offices in Cheshire and further on up. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at the moment.
Perfect. So you act as a kind of referring agency, or almost like a recruitment for health organisations who are currently recruiting for their care sector or their care roles. Sorry, but they could be a whole raft of different companies as well.
No, it'd be purely just Connected Health. So
Perfect.
It is, there's sister companies, Connected Talent and Connected Health. So we recruit solely for them. We're basically one big team with
Thank
Connected
you.
Health. You know, the communication's great and everything
Great.
between everybody. So yeah, that's what we're doing at the moment.
Sorry, I just want to clarify that so people understood who they were joining. So Connected Health.
Yeah.
Tell me, I mean, what sort of people are you caring for? You know, is it young people, adults? Tell us more about that.
Majority elderly and vulnerable people,
Yeah.
you know, who want to be able to live independently and remain in their homes, but maybe just need a bit of assistance with that. So you do be in communication with their families, you have full care plans and everything. So we do provide a lot of training, everything like that. Connected Health would be big into 3 T's. That's kind of like our tagline as such. So it's talent, technology and training. So we have a Connected Academy actually within Connected Health, and that gives even candidates the chance to progress through the company, train for NVQs level 2, 3, 5 and upwards as well. So we do give the training completely and the complete support for candidates coming on board and to be able to care for those individuals as well.
Perfect. So would the care be taking place in a sort of specified home, or would it be within the community itself in people's homes?
So it is within the community. So that's the thing. All candidates majority would need to be able to drive and have access to a car, as it does involve going from maybe house to house. But we do cover, everywhere from maybe like Southport, Sefton, right through Liverpool, down to Cheshire, St Helens, Halton, everywhere like that. So we do try to keep the individual in their own area as such. We wouldn't ask them to travel, across the country or anything.
Sure.
So it would be looking after people in their homes, and trying to keep them there and keep them as comfortable as possible.
Of course. So in a typical day, how many people could they see? And how many people would be on their caseload?
It's really dependent. It's hard to say because it would be dependent on the client's needs. Yeah. Some clients do just like a bit of company. You might pop in, have a cup of tea, just chat with them for a bit, make sure they're okay, they don't need anything. Whereas others, you may need to be there longer for as such as going in, maybe helping them get up out of bed, personal care, personal hygiene, getting them up, making them breakfast, getting them set up for the day. So that would obviously require longer. So usually the runs would be split into morning, lunch, tea and beds. So you could be on a shift from, say, 7 a.m. till 2, which would cover your morning and lunch, or you could be on a longer one, which would be morning, lunch and tea, or else, which a lot of people find really suitable, like maybe students, parents, is evening shifts, which could be from 6 till 10, getting clients ready for bed and things like that. So
okay,
it could vary from maybe 2 till, maybe 10, just dependent.
Yeah. Okay. We tell we're live because you've got your dog now joining in the conversation.
I thought he was asleep. I'm sorry. I was giving
That's fine. That's fine. The perils of live TV. So
I know.
So just going on to some of the roles then that you've got currently vacant. Give us a sense of the kind of the kind of roles that you're looking to recruit into at the moment, please.
Yeah, so we do always recruit for healthcare assistants. So it is so we have that across all of the areas that we cover. But we also do progression would be a big thing with Connected Health as well. There's great progression within the company. You can go from healthcare assistant up to senior, and then even up then to internal roles such as like office staff, which can go to area manager and further on up. So we do offer our roles to the public as well as in-house. So we're currently also advertising for area managers at the minute, and then also a registered manager, because we are growing and we're looking to open another office now in the near future. So we will need, senior staff as well and senior management staff.
Understood. So it's a different kind of roles that you've got currently on offer, and I know we're going to put some links up on the page at the moment to show people where those roles are and what they do. Can you just tell us a little bit more about the kind of people that you want to work for you? What makes a successful employee of Connected Health?
So basically, sorry, I'm just going to close that door. No I'm really sorry about that.
It's okay.
So basically, as I said, we do have Connected Academy, which is our own training academy that we train people up. So it's not about experience. We don't expect people to come on, they don't necessarily need to have worked in care before or even in the healthcare sector. So we're looking for people who, it's more about personality. If you're friendly, compassionate, want to be able to help and give back to the community, that's the kind of people we would like to bring on. Someone who wants to help and wants to be able to provide care. So it's not necessarily, as I said, about experience. So it's more so the personality type.
Yeah. And are you finding, because of what's been happening over the last 12 months or so, people who are applying into you haven't necessarily come from a care background, but maybe come from other sectors such as retail, hospitality? Are you finding more of that now?
Mm-hmm. We are, absolutely. We actually had a big surge of people coming in, like candidates wanting to give back because they've seen what COVID has done. They want to be able to help elderly people who can't get out, if they're shielding, isolating. They want to be able to give back to the community and actually have went for a full 360 career change. And then we also have people, who are on furlough who wanted to come on board as well, and they've stayed with us as opposed to going back, to their first careers and everything like that. So there definitely has been an influx in candidates applying.
Yeah, so that's a good signal, isn't it, for anybody who thinks, I've never really worked in care before, what do I know? Well, you will, as long as they've got the right attribute and the right attitude towards your sector, you can always train them in what's required, can't you?
Absolutely, because as I said, with the Connected Academy, we have our own training manager in GB as well, who is done training and care for years, and she's brilliant. She would take on, everybody up to NVQs, as I said, 2 and 3. You can progress even further. Right. It's brilliant. We do have massive training platforms for that.
Fantastic. And you've probably, as often, you've seen your fair share of applications, as they come in there, Amy. And what suggestions or advice can you give to anyone applying so that their CV stands out and there's more chance of them being interviewed?
It's more so, as I said, kind of personality type. If you can manage to bring it across in your CV that you want to help, we do like to think, as I'm sure yourself, you wouldn't want anybody just coming in looking after your maybe elderly mother, elderly grandparents, things like that. It's someone that would be able to look after people well.
Yeah.
So it is, if they're compassionate, have empathy, friendly, and want to be able to help, that's the main thing we like to see come across.
Great. Well, that's really great advice. So I think it's all about personality, not necessarily about the skills or the qualifications that they've got. It's more about attitude, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And being positive.
Absolutely.
And someone that you need to trust as well. I guess trust is a massive part in this too.
Oh, for sure. Definitely is, yeah.
Yeah. So if people want to find out more about Connected Health, is there a website they can visit, Amy?
Yes, we have a website. It's connectedhealth.co.uk. It does have everything about the company on it and the job opportunities and everything like that. So yeah, absolutely. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, Twitter, everything.
Perfect. Okay, well, we're going to encourage people to do that. Just have a look. We do get a lot of people coming up to the channel wanting to work in care. So we'll definitely signpost them towards your organisation. And the very best of luck in finding the right people. And I will let you go and care for your dog as well, who sounds like he needs either a walk or he needs his lunch or something. But no, it's been
he just wants attention.
Don't we all? But anyway, it's really nice to have met you, Amy. And thanks for your time here on the Jobs Live channel. And we'll hopefully get you back on again soon in the near future, talking about future vacancies. Thanks very much. So that was Amy from Connected Health and her dog in the background. We're going to now move on to more companies who are working with us here on the Jobs Live channel. Thank you.
So, thank you, Stuart. Today I've been joined by Andrea Lyon from Community Integrated Care. Hi, Andrea.
Hi, Ellie.
So, can you tell us, what does your company do?
Of course. Okay, so we are one of the largest, most successful social care charities in the UK. We have recently been awarded the Charity Times Charity of the Year Award, which is a successful, huge accolade. We support over 5,000 people with varying support level needs, and we employ over 6,000 staff. The people we support, some have learning disabilities, some have age-related needs, some have autism, and some have mental health concerns. We do this in a variety of settings. So we have supported living services, we have registered care services, which is residential and nursing homes. We support in the community. We also have day services and respite services.
So where are you based?
Okay, so our head office is based in Widnes. We was founded by a GP in Holton in 1988, and we have services from as far from Scotland down to Portsmouth. Sorry, just getting that right. We're a truly national charity, and we're proud of the work in partnership we do with over 50 local authorities.
So what roles are you currently recruiting for?
So we're currently recruiting for support worker roles within Warrington. We have different service settings, as I mentioned earlier. So we have some outreach services as well as supported living services. The people we support within them services have got varying health needs, from autism through to mental health.
So what kind of people are you looking for to join the organisation?
Okay, so 3 words really embody everything about community integrated care. And what we're passionate about. We're incredibly fortunate to employ and support thousands of amazing people. Our staff are truly incredible, delivering exceptional standards of care each and every day. to ensure that the people we support live fulfilled lives and reach the outcomes that they aspire to achieve. We always strive to achieve the best, and we don't see labels. We never stand or settle for second best. We see potential in everybody. So the kind of people that we're looking for is to share our values. Our values underpin everything about community integrated care. So we respect individual choice and promote inclusion, rights and independence. We enable individuals to meet their needs and fulfil their aspirations, and we aspire to be the best that we can be. We deliver the best possible support and outcomes for the people we support and the partners who we work with, and we include people. So them core 5 values are what we're looking for within the values of the people we want to recruit.
So why work for you?
Why not? Okay, so why choose community integrated care? We offer a rewarding career with opportunities to develop and progress within the organisation. We develop and enable yourself to build great relationships with the people we support and their families. You will be part of a friendly and supportive team where every day is hugely different. We're a forward-thinking employer looking to lead the way in the digital age to improve care and support wherever possible. So what do we offer for our frontline colleagues? We offer 20 days holiday plus 8 holidays, pension contribution. We also have a fully equipped employee assistance programme which supports well-being. Well-being is huge within our organisation, especially with our frontline colleagues with the last 12 months that we've currently been through. This supports on, as I mentioned, well-being, finances, nutrition, exercise, anything that you may need some signposting and support to. Our frontline colleagues also have access to an Appy app. It's a simple app that you download to your phone, and you get many discounts at retail establishments